Welcome back to Dungeons and Designers Session 2. Today we actually have everybody playing because Ray's joining us.
Yay!
I would like to start this off with another downer because 2 weeks ago we had paused for Ukraine and we're still there. Everything is still falling apart and terrible. And I know last time we had said this, we had all hoped by the time we were rolling dice again that would have been resolved. And it's not. And we're going to do this every week, 2 weeks until it is. So we're thinking of Ukraine, praying for Ukraine, and Putin's an evil dick.
Yeah.
So
Great.
Let's move forward and have some fun and distract ourselves with our characters.
So what you're saying is, Putin, if you're listening to this, if you want to end the madness, just retreat. That's what you're saying. If you hate this podcast, just retreat.
Putin, if you want us to have more fun without feeling bad about it, could you just get out of Ukraine?
By the way, not to sharply change the subject, but Mackenzie told me that my lights would look terrible. And
she was right.
Okay, well, that's it. Okay, that's all you yeah, okay, so let's continue. Go ahead, Will.
All right. So last time we were playing D&D, you guys did your first kind of job for Raji. And we had paused our last session with you guys back at Raji's shop, kind of waiting for your next appointment. You are in a room that's full of these like aisles of chairs, right? So there's a whole bunch of different people taking on bounties, different workers like you, but also people coming in and out looking for work to be done. I think here is where we would probably introduce Ray's character. So as you guys are all sitting down in your chairs, kind of waiting, relaxing, Patrick, your character is it Eris? Was that right? No, who was? So you, Eris, had taken that moped crash, so you're probably a little bit bruised up and at least sore. No,
that was Patrick.
That was all this guy over here.
You're right.
That was
Eris,
fingers.
You are the air cook, right? You went into the display board in the ceiling and then crashed into a door. So you're probably bruised up and banged up a little bit because of that. Patrick, you crashed the moped. And Tracy, I don't remember you getting hurt too bad at all, except you did lose your washer orb thing.
I don't know why you need to poke that wound, but yes.
So for
I
our
would
first
say
day,
emotionally, she's at least as damaged as the rest of us are physically.
Externally, I seem fine. Internally, I am easily as damaged as the other.
So
I can't say I'm surprised by any of this.
No, and I think what we learned was the best way to keep your character safe is not show up. Right?
A little bit, unwounded. Don't play.
It's also the best way to not get an EXP.
It's true.
That's also true.
It's the long game.
So
just gonna outlast.
As you guys all are kind of maybe sitting, and maybe it's been a little while, right? There's a lot going on around you. Raji hasn't stopped working. He's like constantly moving. And again, he's behind these like barred windows, working behind a table. And then Ray, you want to introduce your character, name, what you look like, and what we'll get to know?
Absolutely. So my character is Aslan Lux. And she is an Asmar, which they are very rare and in hiding. So when she's walking into any location, she's pretty covered, like layers and layers, hood up, kind of ninja style, very dark clothing. She's a bit of a scavenger, so a lot of things that she's collected are kind of tucked in all the folds of the clothing. Really dark makeup, almost like grease has been used on her eyes for makeup. A lot of dirt on her, although there's this subtle glow to her skin that she needs to hide by kind of covering up. And then she has like a really sleek looking respirator that she can pop over her face when she's in the really dirty, grungy areas or out in space where she can't breathe. So a bit of a presence when her hood comes down, if it comes down. She's got just very similar to what I'm wearing, but on one side, just like this mohawk almost of like a French braid that goes down and is really long down her back. Yeah.
Perfect. Did you say the name?
Yes, Aslan Lux.
Cool.
So Aslan is her first name.
Because I have a fairly strict Christian background, there's gonna be a lot of C.S. Lewis jokes coming from me probably, so sorry.
Yeah, I thought about that after, and I was like,
eventually I'm gonna kill you on a table. So, but you'll come back.
I'm ready.
So as you guys are coming in, and Ray, Aslan kind of maybe just sits down next to them, kind of just getting ready for your next job. You hear Raji kind of like clear his voice almost, but it sounds almost robotic, right? It doesn't sound extremely human, or even, I mean, he is a Kenku, right? So they have this kind of weird voice that usually mimics people. Um, but he kind of leans over his table and grabs the bars, and he points directly to you guys, and he's like, come over here. And then he hops off his little stool, and you see just maybe the top of his head shuffling behind the window as he opens a door, and then he takes a left corner where you don't see him anymore, and he opens another door that goes into your main room. He's like, come over here. Does everyone's okay following?
I'll get up and follow him.
Definitely call him back a little when I'm doing it.
Yeah. And again, so Patrick is the gnome, Sleazel. The Kenku's probably only a little bit taller than Patrick.
Oh.
They usually are around 4.5 foot tall, I think. So, and again, though Kenku and has that kind of raven appearance, much smaller than Andrew's Eris, and where Eris has a great beak, Raji's beak has been like snapped in half and is blunt. So he's like, come over here. And he goes back into the door. And to the right, you see the door he came in through, which is like that little window area that he works in. But directly across from this door, there's like an office. And he opens that, and it's just like all these papers and boxes. And there's a giant table like filling up the majority of the room in the middle. And he kind of scurries over and then hops up on a stool on the opposite side of the table. And he goes, what happened today? And he goes, there are reports all over the ring talking about a gnome with a keytar. And then he looks over to Eris, and he's like, and a bird destroying a display board, and an anemic elf. And he goes,
is a gnome with a keytar really that weird?
Yeah. And Raji just looks at you and looks back and goes, and did you kill somebody and just leave the scene, not caring who saw you?
We did care who saw us. I speak up and say, we looked and we checked. There was no one paying attention in the alleyway, and we left them propped up against the thing. No one should know that we were the ones who had anything to do with that.
Yeah, and Roger stares at you all, and he's like, I've been deleting warnings on the server all morning. And he goes, luckily, the hammers really don't care about them, right? That's like, they don't even appreciate the lizard folk. But no one's going to take your work anymore. No one's going to give you a job. He goes, because of that, I've got personal work that needs to be taken care of. And I need this one to be done on the down low. All right? No bodies.
Wait. Hold on.
I was mixing a different campaign.
I know that you were, but because he didn't figure it out, that's not a big deal.
Just keep going.
B, when you say no bodies, does this mean like you don't want to hear about any bodies? Or like...
Yeah. And he like puts his claws up on the table and just looks at it. He goes, no bodies. And then he takes out his ID and like puts it out into the middle of there, looking for someone to like transfer the data to.
Got it.
So he like touches your ID card, and on it comes up this map of Masterwork. It's a medical facility on the fourth ring, but really all they pay attention to and all they really work on is body enhancements. So on the Lathander's ring and in many other stations, there's like these body modification shops that do like a lot of cyborg work. On the fourth ring, Masterwork is like the primary one, but even this shop only deals with like repossessed or old tech, right? So people getting these parts are never getting anything new. And he goes, I need you guys to steal something for me. And he gives you this list. And on it is just a handful of different metal supplies. So on it, you see antibiotics, antiseptics, bandages, cyclazine, magnesium sulfate, tanks of oxygen, and propofol. And he's like, they're getting a shipment again in 1 week, 5 days. He goes, I need this stuff on the list. He goes, you got 5 days. You got to figure out like how to get in and out. You cannot kill anybody in there, right? Oh. This can't get back to us. The hammers don't care about the lizards folk. But if you start killing people in medical facilities, the hammers are really going to care.
How much product are we talking about? How much are we supposed to move in this time frame?
Yeah, and he's like, a lot. He goes, and really, you're gonna have to do it in a single night or day, whenever you guys go. But the tanks of oxygen are fairly heavy. Things like the antibiotics, antiseptics, and all those things, they're mostly pills or vials. Like those should be easy. The tanks of oxygen are gonna be the big thing to try to get out.
How much is there security?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how much? Like, are you giving us anything to help us with this?
Yeah, so let's go to the map. So Patrick, you're the to do that magic, and everyone else, you guys just have a link. So from now on, like Raji gives you this. This is what you guys have on all your identification units, right? And he goes, "This is the layout of the masterwork. It's 3 floors. The first floor is primarily same day patients. The second floor contains more like overnight, prolonged stays where the work might be more intensive, and then the third floor is just office. I think it's just like one single office." He goes, "I don't have much more information than that." There's a side door and a front door, both on the first floor. Those are the only real ways to get in. The other floors, the second and third, they're kind of surrounded by other buildings on 2 sides. And that's what these little lined drawings are, or those like other facilities not related to masterwork. He's like, what I need you guys to do is spend the next 5 days getting as much information as you can, and then going and doing the heist as well as you can. No dead bodies.
5 days of recon, and then we do it all in one night.
That's
the
hope.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I'm gonna like Elle is just gonna be like, hold on. Given our rate of success following our last job, you want us to move in as a unit quietly, covertly, and smartly, and then move all this, and you're giving us nothing else. How much am I getting paid for this again? What is my incentive to take on this mad job with these fools?
Yeah, he's like, okay. I can give you a little bit. Upstairs, and he like just like points like directly up. He goes, "There's a shop up there, and it's called, where my notes go, Fortified Array." That guy up there, all he does is sell defensive and non-lethal weapons. So maybe you guys can get your hands on some stuff up there to help you with the job. Give him my name; he'll give you a discount. Other than that, we'll give you 300 credits for the job as long as you get everything back.
A piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Raji like he like laughs under his voice. He's like, "No."
So you're expecting us to do 6 days of work, highly risky work, that will inevitably make you tons of money because you're getting medical supplies, and you're only giving us $300. That's our rate.
Yeah, so he goes, first off, only the 5th day or 6th day is really that dangerous. Right, the rest of it you shouldn't be getting any trouble. And he goes, and I'm not gonna make any money off this. He's like, there's been a lot of sick people that aren't getting the help they need. I'm working with some guys underground, and we're just gonna give this medicine stuff to them. That's why I need you guys to do this. And there's no other work for you. After that big mess up yesterday, or I guess it was the big mess up an hour ago, you guys haven't had any other work you could take.
I mean, hold on. Did they say the guitar playing was bad? I can go get a gig right now.
No one said a guitar playing was bad.
Okay.
But no one said it was
just so we're clear, you're sending us to an arms dealer when you specifically told, again, these fools not to drop anybody.
But
is that right?
Purely
you said non-lethal.
Clearly
right?
non-lethal.
Non-lethal. Okay, there we go.
He said he just doesn't want to know about the bodies. He winked when he said, "I understood."
Yeah,
no children
like,
this time, maybe.
I don't think birds have eyelids. I can't wink. I don't know if birds have eyelids.
I have eyelids, and I'm a bird.
Do birds have eyelids?
Yeah.
Yes.
They can have if they want them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to assume their
I have
eyelids.
nipples. Will, can you milk me?
All right. Do you guys have any other questions before we start?
Yeah. Why the hell are we doing this for such little money? But it's fine.
Greater good.
How about this? Can we agree? If we do well, if we impress you on this job, the next one, 300 per person.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, I'll write it down. We'll try to do that.
I don't trust
All right.
this guy.
Eris reluctantly says, "Okay, I've got the data pad," so I start walking away.
Oh, he has all the money. Okay, well, I'm going to follow this guy. I'm not an idiot. I forgot that in the last mission, he just went around scanning everything, so.
He literally did. He was very forthcoming in that. Ella's going to sigh heavily and then follow Eris out the door.
Fair enough.
So what I think the best way to do this is for you guys to all go home and rest. That'll be your long rest, so all your health and your spells and everything, or whatever you've used, will come back. And I would love to do. We've gotten a little bit of like a visual taste from everyone on this game so far. What I would love for you guys to do is describe the rooms you guys are returning to. Like we had talked about previously, everybody is in a small kind of bedroom in almost a dorm setting. On the fourth ring, people don't live in units alone often, right? You guys even saw the lizard folk. They had like fixed up their apartment, but they were all living. There was like 4 beds in one little tiny portion of it. So what your living arrangements probably look like is a small single bedroom type thing with an attached kitchen and bathroom that are probably shared between 4, 5, 6 people.
Okay.
Does anyone have any thoughts about what their kind of bedroom living space looks like? Andrew's got a big head shake.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, why don't you start us off?
I'll let Tracy go first because she also knows.
Oh, how gracious. So to catch Ray up, Elle is pretty like minimalist, like really, really basic, obviously like tall, like elf, like not, I don't want to say standard, right? But really minimalist in general. But the apartment we have is complete opposite to that. We're talking like Miyazaki level, like Howl's flag, like moving castle bedroom type level of clutter, like clearly like collecting and hoarding bits and pieces collected over time. And since Elle doesn't really like sleep, there is no bed, or if there had been a bed, it is completely stacked with any numbers of like papers, lots of paper, lots of notes, lots of information, lots of like little bits and pieces, but it's mostly clearly just like records on records and not much else, but a great deal of like organization and like barely contained chaos of that information.
So if we did a hoarders episode, would we start there?
I really feel like there would be no found like flattened cats underneath these stacks of information. It's more like, yeah, like
the like amount of like mold in those shows freaked me out.
Yeah.
And yes, what I would like to say, just as Tracy's wrapping up, you guys as players know each other, but you as like your characters would not know, right? You 3 would never have been to Elle's dorm. This is more for our listeners and just like each other to get a little bit of personality that might not be coming across when we try to role play or we're doing our game. Was there anything else you wanted to share, Tracy? I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
Not at all. That was pretty much what I had to say. Is it's a lovely like mess.
Yeah. I like to picture it too, like your bed's been lifted off the ground to fit more stuff underneath it.
Yes, there's no semblance or anything except for like maybe like a chair. Like there's no bed. It's just like wall to wall because it's a small space, right? So it's wall to wall, like info, essentially personal library style type stuff.
It's good.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, do you want to go second?
Yeah. So what I would have, it's funny that you said an elevated bed because that's what I would have done. I fashioned my bed up so that it's essentially a perch, like a nest. And rather than a typical mattress, I'll use the mattress as kind of a base, but I've affixed all sorts of random pieces of cloth, leathers and suedes and things like that to create a bit of a nesting area up there. And then below that is a chest that has random goodies in it that I've found along the way, or trinkets that I picked up in my days of smuggling, going off world or going on world, and doing excursions and things like that. On the wall, I will have painted. Think of it as like a postmodern forestry, just to give a nod to like the outdoors, just as a bit of a taste of home and my home planet. I have 1 succulent that I can keep alive.
Which on the station in fourth ring, like any sort of living creature or plant, like even the smallest succulent would be worth like quite a value.
Yes, and I treasure that. I treasure that deeply.
I like it. Patrick, are you good to go, you think?
Yeah. So dorm room style.
Star
can't
wipe,
wait.
star wipe, star wipe.
I can't wait.
No. So I think here's what's surprising. I'm not a fan of mess. My look is very much constructed to fit in, but realistically, very tidy. However, I can't afford anything, so you can imagine coming into my space, and it's a keytar. It's some of my, obviously I have like my clothes and some other instruments, but it's just otherwise. You could almost mistake it for being intentionally minimalist, but the reality is I just don't have anything because the things that I can afford are garbage. The things I could bring home are garbage, and so I just have nothing. So it's just it's very much a blank slate, but I wouldn't say in a great way. I think if you look close, it's probably fairly sad.
I feel pretty personally attacked right now. So let's just move right on to Ray.
I can't
got
even afford that
large-
big pickle behind you. So
A large pickle in the back of my.
Yeah, I'm like, this is everything I own right here because everything else would just be garbage.
All right.
Where does
So-
Aslan live?
She kind of sneaks back and fades out. They don't even realize she left because she lives on that top floor, that very base level where she doesn't really have a space. She kind of slinks around on the side, doesn't own anything more than what she has on her to keep in the dark.
I dig it.
And that's why she has that, that respirator, because a lot of that, what is that, like water, that body of water that's sitting up there, it's a little toxic, so that she can breathe easy, and is just like always keeping an eye on everything. Doesn't sleep a ton, one eye open, in the shadows.
Perfect.
I'm just scared. I'm just terrified.
So the way we want to do this is if you guys go back to the map view in Figma, you'll see on the right time expended. And what I want us to kind of do is each of you have 5 days and each of you can do one task in that day. You guys do have the blueprints, so you can feel free to come here. You can do recon outside of here, right? Think about it real like Ocean's 11, the Italian Job, right? Like we're in that pre-phase. Ooh, Patrick, what's your opinion on the Ocean's 11 and Italian Job?
One of them was a good movie.
Patrick refers to it
Ooh,
as
wait,
the
which one?
Italian Job.
Wait, was that? What was that?
Nothing. No, we'll talk about it later. Well, I'll save that for our pop culture roundtable. I'll bring my hot take then.
So come back on Monday.
Okay, so this is set up.
Ray needs to get her token.
Oh yeah, she's gonna.
Oh, Ray. Yes.
Color.
So Ray, if you go to the left side, you see it says layers and assets. And all the way left past our board, it's like in
You
the
can point
Oh,
to it.
that's
Will.
why.
We can see your thing. So just point to it.
I don't think you can see mine on the UI though.
Yes, you can.
Oh, I'm on the UI right now.
I see the class token. Do I pick one? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. So pick whichever one you're playing.
Let me pick the right one.
You said rogue, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So then if you click on it, you can change the colors in the design. So if you click on it, go to the right side now, go to design, and go to near the bottom, you'll see like that purple or blue. You can change that color just to make it personalized to you.
Okay.
For the record, I'm also a rogue, and I'm like the dark purple one. So if we need to just
pick a different
Some-
color, right?
yeah,
Okay, I wouldn't pick purple. It's all good.
Okay. Were you able to pull it in, Ray?
I'm doing it right now.
Because I can if you need help.
Oh, it's on the bottom. I was like, where is it?
All right. So we're seeing the first, second, and third floor of a single building.
Yep.
Yes.
And you can see there's staircases in the top right and bottom right of the second floor.
And we're determining. So this is day one. Like what?
Yeah.
What each of us is scouting.
Yeah, and this is
for,
gonna be very
basically.
similar to like the skill challenge we did 2 weeks ago, right? So we're gonna use whatever you guys are good at. We can assume that like you guys have sat together and been like, we're gonna divvy up the jobs. Like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. So it'll be totally up to you guys.
But we haven't, so we should probably sit together and divvy up the jobs.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, can we please plan this out this time?
I agree. Okay, I understand.
I
that
fly
my
into the
approach-
door.
My approach was a little bit abrupt
Exactly.
last time. I get that. So, what are we looking for? Because this is guarded. There's people. We have to get in and steal stuff. Do we know where the stuff is located?
Let's see.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Ray, have you put your token out?
I'm logging in. I had to reset my password.
Oh, okay. I was like,
that's why I was like, why won't it let me do anything?
If she did, I don't see it.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. So there's also in oops. He does tell you that the antiseptics and bandages would be on the first floor somewhere. Those are common use everyday items. So those would be
that.
And the first floor will definitely be the least guarded, right? That's just like a mundane kind of in and out floor.
But he did not tell us where anything else would be in the building.
I totally should
I'll
have
tell
done
you. So he also say the antibiotics and takes of oxygen should be on the second floor.
Okay.
Because those are for more longer term, like the oxygen would be needed for people who are going under and things like that. He doesn't know where the propofol, xylazine, or magnesium sulfate is, but he could assume those are going to be some of the more guarded items.
And remind me again, what type of people would come to this building? Like,
yeah, it'd be anybody looking for body modifications. So if anybody was able to survive watching Boba Fett, there's like those characters who had like all those alterations. It's also like you see it in Blade Runner and every other sci-fi trope. So like people who are like who lost an arm in an accident might come back to get a fake one.
All right. So I could go in and tell them that I'm wanting to double the length of my legs.
Absolutely.
As a gnome, I'm just obviously very self-conscious about my height. Maybe I get a consultation. I get to go back to a room. I might get an opportunity to scout it out a bit. The only other things that come to my mind, I mean, we have to get inside the building. We could take a day to try to watch the movements of people coming in and out, maybe mug one of them and like take their access badge. Like that's a possibility, but I could also just go in as like a prospective patient. Just see what I can do.
I was going to say it would be a good idea. I think it would be a good idea for one of us to go in as a prospective patient and ask for a tour like of the facilities and if they were to question that, just say, listen, if I'm going to pay you to do this to my body, I want to make sure this is
what is like a serious enough surgery that would get to the higher floors?
I would say like double leg amputation.
Now you will.
Oh, I think you would know though, right? Like you would know like removing limbs is not as simple as just like a little add-on.
One would think he would know. But let's ponder it.
One would hope.
No, that's a good question. But I would think a double leg extension would probably qualify.
Okay. You don't think I'd look
we
weird
know
with
who...
that, do you?
Yes,
God,
I do.
It'd be a pain in the ass to find pants. Okay.
Who are we talking about when we're saying like who is performing this like double leg extension on Sleazel? Like who's this run by?
This is a
That's
professional.
what this place does. This place does body modification.
So, yeah, so
you know I'm saying, who runs it though? Who like is there a specific like race group people? Are they just rando employees? Like
I think
who
that's
runs
when
this
we
place?
find out when we walk in there. He didn't give us any
so
more.
we don't know, and we have to kind of discern that as best as possible.
And yeah, this might be a situation where we try this out and Patrick, what's your character? Oh, Sleazel. And Sleazel tries this thing. If this is what we decide to do, Sleazel tries this thing and it doesn't work the first day, and then we just regroup and one of us tries something else a different day. You know, like
we all get a turn per day,
everybody
right? We all get to do an action.
Yeah, so there's gonna be like 20 actions total.
I could also maybe just try to see if they want to make my fingers less like slippy.
Just wash them. Just wash them.
I've tried. It comes back. Okay.
Stop touching the things you're touching.
Okay, I'm gonna go first, with D and Will's permission.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna walk in. It turns out I'm taking the same approach as before. So it turns out what I said to you was wrong. I am doing the exact same thing. I'm just gonna walk straight in through the door, go to the receptionist and tell them that I'm interested in a double leg extension modification.
Awesome. So as you walk up to the door on the street, we'll say you're on kind of like the north side. On the wall, you see Masterwork and Abathor Company. Abathor is one of the corporations that just operates on the ring. And you see people kind of walking past you, and it's not super busy, right? But there's a steady flow of people kind of in and out. And every time they get to the door, they use their ID to open it. It's kind of like they check who's coming in and out.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna get close to the door where I see someone scanning, but I'm gonna try to get their attention and say, hey, how do I get to reception?
Yeah, and the person will just like look down at you and just be like, right ahead. And as you look in through the door as it's opening, you see that there's a reception on the opposite side with two stools, both with two workers. Fairly generic humans, just in kind of little lab coats.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk straight through the doors. Whether or
using
not he held it open or whether he it was shutting behind him and I just squeeze. I'll do a little 360, and I'm gonna just walk straight up to the counter.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Yeah, and it's one guy's like Gary, and the other one's like Slizzlefits.
That's too close to home. Gary, listen, I'm trying to get double leg extension. I've heard y'all might be the people to do it. So who do I talk to?
Yeah, and he looks down. He goes, "Yeah, I think we'd be the only ones to do it." And he gives you like a medical form. He's like, "We're gonna need you to fill this out, put down your appropriate insurances, and then we'll get to you."
Okay, let me. Is it possible to have a consultation with someone just to learn more about it? Like before I go giving you like all my insurance information. Like I honestly don't know like what's involved or what to expect. So.
Yeah, and he's like, consultation would need to go through insurance, but he points behind you, goes, "There's a rack of brochures there that you could like be more than welcome to look through."
I'll fill this out.
Okay. As you're looking around the room, also, so there's a piece of type on the bottom called sample intel. Let me pull this out because I grouped it on accident. What you guys can do is if you want to keep notes public, you can. If you want to just keep notes written, you can also do that. Where'd it go?
It's up at the top. It's up by the Masterwork logo. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. It's weird. Cool. So if you just want to like copy in there, things that you see right off the bat, Patrick, there are cameras in this room at least. At least there's one. It's right above the table, like right above the workers.
Okay.
There was also the ID check-in and check-out through the doors.
Yes. And I also see there's no, I'm sorry, Gary, is there nowhere for me to sit to fill out this paperwork?
Yeah, there's like chairs kind of shown about, right?
Well,
like along the walls. But really, this is not like a waiting room, right?
Just to be clear about the filling out, I assume we're talking about just like scanning IDs and it auto-fills the info, right? We're not actually
the medical industry does not progress at the same rate as everything else.
Okay.
It's also because it's on the fourth ring, a lot of these more medical places are doing things like below board. So there's like these like purposely brought in, I don't know, processes that would allow things to kind of get lost.
Gotcha.
Even like the paper brochures would be like weirdly out of place on this ring.
Okay. That's fine. I'm going to fill it out. Just a note. I'm not going to put my actual name. I am going to put a, you have like a group ID and stuff. I'm just going to like throw some numbers down to look close. I figure that they can call and chase that down, and by the time they do, I'll be out. So,
Biff Landry.
No, that's not at all what I would put. Actually,
I think
I'll put your name.
I need to know.
I just put the name of someone else in my party.
But like incorrectly, it's like Eris, like Slipfoot. Like it's not gonna actually be.
Yeah, I'll combine.
You're not gonna remember any of our names.
I'll combine Aslan, and then I'll combine that with the last name of Andrew's character.
I don't have a last name.
So it's just Aslan. Did it well.
You could combine mine and Aslan and have it be Laslan.
Your last name's Laslan?
No.
Aslan?
L and
she
Aslan
the letter
is
L and her
Laslan.
Aslan.
I like that, and it's like
so
Prince.
nice.
It's simple, so I like that. Seems pretty. I'm not gonna fucking say the phrase rock and roll. It seems cool to me. Laslan.
That seems pretty rock and roll to me.
Perfect. And the person takes it and he goes, "All right, we can get you on the books probably later this week. In the meantime, would you like just to see the facilities on this first floor?"
Boy, would I.
Yeah. So the second floor, you can see that there's a door to the top right of this room that's locked.
Yeah. And that door looks important. What's behind that?
Yeah. And then he goes, like, that's to the second floor. But we're not going to go there today.
But we will go there tomorrow, right?
as you walk around, yeah, the guy goes, ha, ha, ha. So he brings you through 2, and this is purely to get to room 3.
Okay.
2 is just like a storage bay. So there's another entrance. This door's a little bit bigger, and they bring in supplies into this room.
Okay, this double door that I see here, it's not like chain shut or anything, and it's not an emergency exit. It's still the same access point as the one that was on 1, right?
Yeah, it's very similar.
Okay, great.
There's also another camera in this room.
Okay. We're talking about like one in the corner that's like scans both ways or multiple. Okay, great.
Yeah. Then 3, there's a patient's room. And it's just got a few waiting room chairs. There's a couple cupboards with like supplies in it. There's 1 bed. But it's mostly just a room where they could do like check-ins, minor work, like a little ER room type of thing. And as you guys just like walk through, it's like surprisingly clean in here. Like compared to everywhere else you've been so far, like this is kept up nicer.
I'm in 4
as you
now,
go
right?
through. Yep, 4 is the same thing as 3, just a little smaller.
And I'm
5
scanning.
is like,
do I notice anything in the cabinets, anything labeled that would like speak to what I'm looking for?
nothing that's out on the cabinets, but you would assume that inside there probably are those things that Raji said would be on the first floor.
Great. And by the way, Gary,
5,
is Gary leading me through, or is like Slizzle
Yeah.
Face leading me through?
No, Gary is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
You didn't seem to like him too much, so Gary's walking you around.
All right. Gary, they're gonna give me some like serious drugs for this, right? Like I don't want to like wake up mid legs getting installed.
And he goes, if the doctor says everything's fine and they can go through with the procedure and all your credit checks out, yeah, you'll have your surgery upstairs. It'll probably be a 2 to 3 day stay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Keep showing me, Gary.
Yeah, so 5 is just more of like a waiting room for patients' family who are waiting.
Yeah.
And then 6 is just another bay for like in and out surgeries. And he goes, I hope everything looks clean and to your approval. We take our work very serious here. There's also things that you see like in addition to normal medical supplies and rooms, there's like the used bits that they're re-cleaning, right? So in these rooms, like sometimes you'll see like a part that was in somebody else, but like being cleaned by another worker, or like boxes with like other parts in it.
What do they clean that with? Like, is this like mineral spirits, like water? Like, what do you use on this?
And Gary's like, I'm just a front guy. I don't know. And just keeps walking.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a back guy. All right, keep going.
And he's like, and that's our tour. Is there any other questions you have for me?
Is it possible to see the second floor if that's where my surgery is going to be?
No.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So
sorry.
wait, what's the process now? Like, you call me back, I show up. Like, what? I feel like I need more.
Yeah, once we do the credit check and all the information gets approved, we'll call you and we'll get a schedule on the meeting.
Gary, let me ask you this. Let's say you're going to a bar. Like, where's the place you go? Where's your hangout spot? I'm looking for a place in the neighborhood. Where's your hangout spot?
Yeah, he goes, if you go a couple doors down, there's a bar called, I don't know, the Oily Rig.
Okay, Oily Rig. Thanks, man. That's great information. I might go check it out. Sweet. All right, and then I'm leaving?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm leaving, Gary.
Okay.
Can you leave through the second door?
Just like, yeah. Gary's like, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, okay. Here's the thing, guys.
I'm walking away now, sir.
Worst case scenario, we're going to mug the fuck out of Gary at the Oily Rig. But I'm just throwing that out there. But y'all go and do y'all's thing.
All right. I'm just gonna do something simple. I wanna fly up and just examine all of the exterior
You know we
points.
can't fly.
Yes, we can.
We is a bird.
We also has a checkered past with flying.
I am gonna fly up.
Sure.
And
So, what you see, like right off the bat, there's on the first floor, there's a ladder. If you can see my mouse, like right above 3, that goes here, and this is like a little patio almost. It's like just the ceiling of the first floor. There's a door to the building next to them that doesn't have any identification. It could be residential. You don't know. The rest is just steel walls, just like the rest of this ship. If you fly up further or take the ladder, there's another ladder right here where my mouse is. So that would land right here-ish. And there's another patio to another store that's above on the 3rd floor.
And I would know by examining that none of these go to the right, that I can't enter.
These doors, you mean?
Yeah, like let me tell you what I'm thinking. I would like to do. Like, I'd love to just get into the building and just examine as much as I can, kind of quietly. Would I know that door, even if I know that door is not technically part of the facility, would I know that there is no entry point into the other facility from there?
Based off the blueprints that you got from Raji, you would assume there is no like doorway or anything. And no windows, right? It's all just like steel walls or whatever metal they used.
But there could be a ventilation system that is connected.
Theoretically, if you got in. But these doors are also, they're like much smaller. They're not the double doors. They have no ID check. It's just a lock. So it's more similar to the lizard folk than the ones downstairs.
I think I want to just see. I'm going to go up to that little patio. I'm going to go to this door. I'm going to move my character over there instead of just saying it.
Okay.
I'm going to go here and I'm going to try to pick this lock just to see what I see.
Okay. Why don't you give me what is it, sleight of hands with your proficiency and your
I got a natural 20. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, you're just like pop, right? And the door just swings open. And yeah, this one is just a residential. Why don't you give me a roll of the die for your investigation and see if you find any sort of air ducts or anything.
Oh, I just got a critical fail.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not your character failing either, right? There just aren't any air ducts. Like you look through, you haven't been disturbed at all. Like no one's come in or out yet. And as you look around, there's no connection point that you could see.
Okay. Then I pull the door closed without bothering anything. And I think I go up to the third floor and try the same thing.
Okay.
Can I do that all in the same turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick had a whole
the same thing here.
Okay, let's get that lockpick check.
18 plus whatever, but I'm assuming
18 is totally fine.
Yeah.
This one is another business. You're not sure what. Everything looks like it. Maybe they're just moving in. Everything is in sealed boxes still. But as you look around, do you want to give me another investigation check for that air duct? And what I mean is, are you going to generate an air duct?
Yeah. I just got investigation. I just got an 18.
Oh yeah. You do see it's probably only about 12 inches wide and maybe 6 or 8 inches tall, but there is right against this wall here a small air duct.
12 by 8.
Yeah.
Who do we have tiny enough to fit in that?
I know, right?
And slick enough.
Okay, I think I've satisfied what I want to do. I go back out, not disturbing anything, and I fly back down.
Perfect. Has anyone else come up with an action for their first day?
Oh, you are muted, Ray.
Jeez, Ray, unmute.
It's the mic acting up again. It says that
it was down there. Yeah, my mic was fine. How is the people around? Like, is it a heavily populated area? Is there a lot of foot traffic?
So something we explained 2 weeks ago. The fourth ring is the most overly populated ring on the ship or the station. So there's always crowds of people.
Okay, good. If my companion there is up in the air sniffing shit out, I want to be on the ground doing the same. Trying not to be seen and seeing the flow of the workers going in and out, maybe where they're hanging out. Because I really want to snatch one of those cards. But I need to figure out kind of if they're congregating outside at all, what the flow of like the workers are in and out, and try to set up a way that I am in the right spot at the right time.
So you're trying just to like keep eyes on the place to see the flow of people.
I'm definitely the first day is a lot of just like intel on location of people.
Makes total sense. And we'll do like the full day and through night, right? So you get the full rotation. There are 2 workers that always work in the front. There are normally 2 to 3 doctors working in the back. Patrick Sleazel would have seen 2 of them or 3 of them walking around, right? As long as no one was on lunch break, you get the gist of that. You also see at least 2 or 3 other doctors coming down and out, right? So you don't know. You see 6 doctors total,
Yeah.
and you probably see through the doors like them coming in and out, probably dressed a little bit nicer, right? At night, you do see at least 2 to 3 guards entering, and you see 1 more CEO type guy leaving.
Can I tell if they have like where they keep their cards? Is it like one of those pinned to the front of their shirts?
No.
Or
So because everyone uses their ID, their personal ID card for everything, it is like the most like hidden object on a person. Like number 1 rule of life on the station, not just the 4th ring, is like don't lose your card.
Okay.
It'd be like walking around with your social security number.
Interesting. Okay.
Is it my turn now?
Yes, if Ray is done,
Hey,
we can definitely move.
Sleazel, was it room 4 that the resources are that we're looking for?
2 is storage, 6 is cleaning parts, 3 and 4. I think 4 is the most likely candidate, but I think they're both candidates. The thing is, we don't know exactly which.
Okay, I thought you maybe had seen them when you walked through there. So
No,
I'm keeping notes down there if you want to see them.
They would be in like drawers or like in cabinets, so we wouldn't see them out in the open. That's one of the things I asked. But based on what the spaces are used for, I mean, it's possible they're in storage, which is 2, but the rooms that might have stuff would be 3 and 4.
Okay.
And so, Will, when you were talking about what Aslan was seeing, you said like CEOs, these were all coming out of like the front entrance side of like stores.
Most of it
delivery.
could be coming through the front entrance. You definitely could have seen at least 1 or 2 people coming out of the side, but there's no reason they would have, right? It's just another door. If they had, it would just be simply because that was a quicker way to get wherever they were going. But because of what Sleazel saw, you do know room 2 is a storage place.
Right.
And you know that they're expecting a shipment on the 5th day.
Okay. And in terms of like Lathander's ring and job security and opportunities, how does that go if I were to go in and try to like see if they need help, if I'm qualified, that sort of thing? If I go in there looking for a job, like, is this something like where like it's Korea where like you got to take like several exams over several years to like get a gig, or can I actually go in and try to like schmooze to see if it's possible?
You could like just try to schmooze, but the turnaround wouldn't be the same day.
Right.
Depends on the market.
And that's fine. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, would it be absurd to go in and just be like, y'all looking for help type thing? Okay. No. Yeah, because what I'm noticing is that we haven't seen anyone who's like a manager as far as we know on that first floor. So I think I'm going to try to talk to a manager and see if we can get some eyes in on the second floor. So I think then I'm going to like mosey in here. Are Gary and what's his face still in?
Gary's the only one that matters. Yeah, Gary's still there.
The one that matters. Okay.
Eventually, because we're going to try to get in some like audience participation. Eventually, we're going to take in NPC names from our audience, and then I won't have to come up with these ever again on the spot. So it'll be wonderful. All right.
So I'm gonna walk in to the front room and say, and like full height, right? Like try like because you said they're like humanoid. I'm gonna try to like build on like my full like stature as like elf, right? Trying to play up the like elf game a bit. I'm just be like, it's not working with my current team, and I have a great deal of medical experience. I would like to speak to your manager, whoever's in charge, about possibly working at this establishment.
Yeah. And because this is like way more official than even being a patient, right? Like this is like trying to join the team. They're like, okay, that sounds good. They bring a computer out on the table and they're like, if you could just swipe your ID so we can get your basic information, we'll get our president down here to talk to you. And as they do, like they push a button on the table and you hear like some doors unlock and then he kind of walks down. And it's just like a tall man in a suit, like really like standard looking guy. And he's like, do you have any experience with the Abathor company?
What would you define as experience?
A pay stub maybe over the last couple years.
No, I don't believe. I haven't done anything official. We're not going to tell him this. In my head, I was like,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah, no.
official.
And he's
Nothing
like, that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't rule you out. It just doesn't put you ahead. And he's like, once we get your data and your information all sorted out and make sure we have a spot for you, we are looking for things, simple things like janitorial.
That's very interesting. Because that is well below my level. But my cousin is actually looking for employment as a janitor. What would that entail?
Cleaning up a lot of blood, cleaning up materials. When we get pieces in, cleaning them up and getting them ready for installation. That type of work.
Okay. And is that something that it would be entry level? So they'd just be here working amongst like the offices. They wouldn't go up to like the procedure rooms, or would they be cleaning the entire building? Because he's very lazy.
They would definitely be working on both floors.
All right. Well, I do appreciate that information. And so how soon can I expect to hear back from you about vacancies and alignments of personnel?
Yeah, if anything comes up to the information that you give us, we'll let you know. Was it your cousin?
Yes.
They would have to come in and also give us their data, and then we'll let them know if they are fit for the janitorial.
Noted. Well, thank you for your time.
Of course.
I'm going to, I think I'm wondering if I should I kind of want to just use my spidey senses to see if I can discern anything about this president while I have him in this space. So I think I'm gonna
insight check.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do an insight check on this gentleman before piecing out of this building.
Cool. And when you do it, just let me know what are you thinking? What are you looking for?
What are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
Are you doing?
I'm afraid you misunderstood my tone.
No, this is a very good question. To be honest, I'm not super interested in how he looks. I'm more interested in I assume he's gonna go first because he's a busy man, and I'm gonna kind of linger. I kind of want to see what the process is for him getting back up, because we heard all those mechanisms go. Is he just gonna swipe?
Sure.
What that process is for him getting up. Can I see anything as he walks through the door? What is his exit? I'm gonna be paying attention to that whole process. Is
I don't think you would do a perception check for that, but because that's very easy, right? There's no you're not trying to hide that.
You're not trying to be
right. He walks over to that door that we talked about right here, looks at the desk pushes a button, it unlocks, he goes back in, and it locks behind him.
There's a dog.
There is a dog.
Dog.
Yes, he's been over here throwing a fit this whole time, so I had to feed him and deal with him.
So yeah, there's just the same button that they used to unlock it before. They used again as he kind of went through it.
Yeah, and so there's no swipe at all. He's literally just hitting some kind of button behind the desk. Okay, helpful. I'm gonna go back to Figma and move my little duder back out here. Okay.
So I assume at the end of this night we're kind of meeting up in some sort of a tavern food.
Clearly the oily rig.
So, and my plan was that we would do both the recon and planning and the heist, but I'm assuming the heist will have to wait for 2 weeks.
Probably. We're gonna figure this out a little bit.
See how far we get through this, because
I don't know. Based on the last session, there was
Leroy Jenkins.
It's gonna be 15 minutes to 8, and we're we gotta go in.
Okay, so let's before we go into day 2 of this.
Yeah.
Let's. I have to be careful now. 2 of us have to be careful because we just showed our faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to be seen with the other 2 members of our party. I think that's probably important. And I don't necessarily have a reason to go back and be seen again. So whatever I do, I need to do in costume, or
I have an idea for you. This would be what I would say. So this is our breakdown, right? Our debrief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I should fly you up to
Love it.
the third.
Don't say anything.
To the
That's
third level. And
you remember how I said we weren't gonna need to wait until next session?
is join our efforts. I fly you up, and then I can pick the lock get us into that third floor, and I can make sure that no one sees us. I can get you into that vent and watch guard if you can go through that vent and see what you can learn from the third floor.
Okay.
Which I could see that happening like overnight, and then maybe the next day have him go in disguise and apply for the job. Because like that also gets him in to some areas during the day, and potentially a key card access code that allows us to open doors at night.
We can
Am I supposed to be? Well, so Sleazel can't apply for a job because he's getting his legs done.
Unless he's well disguised, otherwise it's you. Yeah.
The thing is, we can always just kill Gary, and I'm fine to kill Gary. I didn't get good vibes about him, and it doesn't like his
no bodies.
Yeah, and Raji's voice in all of your minds is like no bodies.
Again, as long as Raji doesn't know,
Wait,
it's okay.
Hang on. Why did we? I don't think I ever made the decision to not go to that non-lethal shop above there. Why were we all of a sudden here?
Just no one.
I don't want y'all to have any weapons because he killed a baby lizard.
It wasn't a like out. Like, you didn't have 2 hours to get there, right? It's always open. So
we could go there like the next day. We're doing intel
after
today,
recon.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: do any of these doors have? Okay, not important right now. We'll do it in a second. So the point is, and the other thing is, I don't think they're gonna hire quick enough that like getting the job would be helpful.
For a janitor, maybe.
It really depends on if you really want to kill Gary, because if he doesn't come back from the oily rig one night and I just show him like, any new openings? I know it'll seem suspicious, but I'm just saying if they're shorthanded.
That's a kill 2 birds scenario. I did say
and that body is not related. He could just like
bad shit happens all the time. It's
one
not
night
necessarily that our group did it. Just throwing that out there. I'm fine. So I can wait till day 3 to kill Gary. Andrew, if you want to fly me up to level 3, I don't mind scouting out level 3. Trying to shimmy into an air duct or something.
I want to do that. I want to fly up and.
Okay. So we're doing a joint day?
We're doing a joint day. That's what's happening.
So just to be clear about the timing of this, like even though it's like the end, is this like you're flying like Sleazel like up at like 1 a.m. on our day 2 so that we have the rest of the day? Or are we talking about like this is happening like at the next night? Are we talking like early morning hours?
It's a good question. Do you want to do it? Yeah.
Are we waiting a full day
on I'd like to do it
or like that night when they close?
As much under the cloak of darkness as possible, yeah.
If I can help, I would say that chronologically, the people doing their thing don't have to fall in order, but probably separately we should state when during our day of time we're performing our action.
Sure.
So from that standpoint, if you feel more comfortable at night, Andrew, fine to go at night.
I'm flying you in the wee hours of the morning.
Great,
where it's
morning.
It's still dark, but we haven't lost a whole day.
Yes.
Well, and just as a reminder, there is no sun on the 4th ring. So it's always just about the same dull color.
Didn't think about that part, huh?
But people are sleeping though.
Absolutely. There'd be a very different crowd, right?
Yeah.
And one that probably wouldn't care.
Probably an angrier crowd, honestly.
I've also been assuming like the business closes at some point. Is that not the case? Because that's what I was thinking. Like night, like they are closed, and we are going in at night.
You don't get the slogan, the Waffle House of a body modification by closing.
Aslan did see because Aslan had a masculine voice in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobes. It's really gonna mess me up. So Aslan saw guards entering in at night as the workers went out. So there was a shift change when they closed at night.
Like I'm probably
were there no guards during the day?
To be honest,
or it's just you said shift change.
Shift change, and there were guards during the day, but much less. Because who's gonna try to do things during the day?
Not us. Bring on the guards.
All right. So, does Andrew? Do you want to do your?
I'm gonna lock pick, yeah. And I'll try to.
Oh,
stealth.
real quick before we land on the roof, I would like to say, oh, that tickles. Okay, now.
I also like how there was like ladders and stuff, but
no, he grasped me and he flew me up. Just to be clear.
I like to be in control.
And I like for you to
I
be in
just
control.
rolled a 16.
Yeah, that's enough, right? So you pop it open. It being just like a few hours later, there might be some stuff moved, but it pretty much looks the same. Like,
Okay.
Can I real quick
no one's
say
unpacked more.
I have a bandana on me?
On your face?
No, not like a bandit. I'm not a raccoon or something. I have
COVID.
I don't know why I think raccoon when I think bandit. I have bandana in my pocket. I just want to let you know that I'm a cool dude, very rock and roll, and so I would have a bandana in my pocket.
I get it now.
And
What
I
about
just say,
chain wallet?
and I just go, cool, man.
You never know.
How high up is this?
So the whole ring is just, I believe we said 30 feet tall. So this would go straight to the top. So it's 10-foot sections.
No. The air duct.
Oh,
12.
maybe like right up against. So
Okay, so I would have to
Eight.
fly him up there.
or hoist them.
Okay, I'll fly him up.
Gratuitous flying. We're learning things about Eris.
Are you holding it by your hands or your talons?
By my hands. I'm not a monster.
Okay. Good to know.
At some point, Sleazel, you're gonna have to. I'm holding you out, but you're gonna have to actually get into the shaft. I can't make you. Get in
Yeah, I bet I am. Okay, let's not like dangle that fruit over me. Okay, I am going to allow myself. Wait, is there a shaft under me?
No, I'm holding you in front
Right
of
in front of you.
I'm holding you in front of the air duct. You gotta go in.
I reluctantly
You,
go
Patrick.
in. I reluctantly enter.
Okay. Jeez.
So, I'm assuming, yeah, like army crawl face first.
Yeah. Well, I think I probably get my head and my shoulders in, and then he has to like push me in.
Poosh.
Okay. Yeah, and it's not that long, right? It's probably only about a foot and a half. Your feet are probably still like dangling on the outside.
Push me.
Push me. And right in front of you, there's a grate, but you can still see through the grate, which means I need to reveal more map.
Yay.
Yay!
So in this room, there is a office desk with office chair. Right around here, right kind of in the middle of the room, there are 5 floating orbs, metal orbs. 2 of them are kind of stacked vertically. 3 of them are in between and like spinning around it.
What the fuck is this? Do I recognize what the fuck this is?
Is it one
No.
of my washing orbs?
No. So size-wise, about the same as the washing orb. But in this, you can kind of see like little glimpses of lasers kind of coming off, and you can tell it's some sort of sensor. There's also a ton of files of paperwork. So
Okay.
like all those things that they keep records that they don't want on the
Are
books.
the lights
like,
on right now?
Tons. There'd be like the like dark lights, right? Like the lights never always go off. There's like emergency lights in here.
I want to do this real quick. I want to, because I am a musician, I'm going to pull out a clove cigarette and light it up. And then I want to blow smoke to see if there's like lasers going around the room.
That's a good question. Let me check.
Once again, we're just talking about the fact that you're lighting up in a space station, right? With fire. Just
In
to
a
be
medical
clear.
facility in a
medical
space
facility
station.
in a space station. You're
I'm-
just gonna light up a cigarette.
The important
and
part
then...
is it's whatever the space equivalent of clove cigarettes are.
I get it,
is
I
what
get it.
You're
have.
vaping. You are vaping essentially. Okay.
Yeah, and you do one of those epic vape clouds. And as it hits the floor finally, you do see that there's a grid of lasers on the floor.
And there's, I probably should ask this. There's no one else in the room right now. This just seems like some
Just-
shady stuff in here and some type of security system.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say shady necessarily at all, right? It's just a well-guarded, locked-down room.
I want to do this. I don't want to go through it, but I do want to try to see if I can get the vent cover off, just so I know if like I have access to the room.
There's no reason to think you couldn't.
Well,
Right.
okay. Well, I didn't think I wasn't sure.
No. Like the other one came off very easily just by Andrew holding you up.
Okay, so this is the last thing I'd like to do. I would like to.
You didn't require him to remove it, so that's
No,
not on me.
yeah, no, super easy.
I'm going to. I want to see if anybody comes into the room. I'm not gonna engage them. This is like me scouting just to find out how much activity this space gets. So I want to lay in this position and just see anybody comes in or out of the room, and kind of how long they're in there for, who it is, that type of thing.
Is there a time limit to you wanting to stay there?
Probably until I have to pee, so I would say 3 hours.
Okay, and it's only 1, 2 in the morning so far.
Yeah.
I did have that big gulp. 3 hours is fine.
If that's what he's doing, I have things I want to do while he's doing that.
Okay.
but keep
Okay.
going.
And
So-
while they're doing all of that, I want to be hiding out close enough to see what they're doing, but like perception checking kind of situation. Like
Well, you got to come up
they're
here
not
then.
getting noticed.
Oh yeah, you gotta move your duder. You gotta move your little token.
Oh right. Okay.
So we call him now?
Duders.
All right, so Patrick is chilling out in that little vent,
Are
waiting.
my feet sticking out the wall?
I think they have to be. It's
Ah.
fairly, I mean, you're shorter. You're taller than like 1.5 2 feet, right?
Yeah,
Not much.
I am.
All right, Andrew. What are we talking? What do you want to do
I-
while he's
in there, I'm keeping an eye on his little feetsies. But
Sure.
I do kind of want to see what this business is that's moving in here. So I just want to investigate the room and just kind of see if I can see what's in some of these crates and boxes.
Sure. As you like look around, you see it's just restaurant materials, potentially a cafe of some sort.
Okay.
So you like open up one. There's like a little espresso machine type thing. A lot of the boxes are like disassembled chairs. There's like a countertop that's like on its side, like against the wall, being ready to be installed.
Okay. All right.
So a
So
medical
fairly-
facility is turning into a restaurant?
No,
And
so
the
this
other
is
building-
outside of
and
it.
the
It'd be,
other
like
building.
next
Okay,
to
okay.
it. This is like a strip mall medical center.
With lasers. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Does
a
it-
strip mall
does it-
supported by the Abathur company.
Do we know anything about that company? Like I know that they brought it up. Is that something that Aslan would know about? Has she heard about it?
Well, I mean, once you give me a, I don't know, a history check.
That'd be
So
intelligent,
what-
right?
Yeah, so you
Ooh.
do that and you add your intelligence modifier.
I wish I had known that when he asked me if I had had some run-ins with that corporation.
Yeah, 16.
16. So you know that in addition to like the gangs that are on the station and throughout space, that the other giant part of culture around here are these corporations. Abathur is one of the dominant ones in the medical field. This is a very low end tier Abathur unit, right? So everything in here, that's why it's so clean. That's why security is so tight. But as far as like money coming in and out, this is like a nonsense one. You also know that it's run mostly by dwarves and gnomes. But this one didn't, like they don't even send their own here to work because no one wants to be on the fourth ring. But there's no like yes, they're evil. All corporations are evil, right? But there's no reason to think that they're up to something like insidious here.
Nefarious acts. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Then I'm going to continue watching. Is there anybody that is taking note of what's going on? Are we good like on the streets? Is it
I'm
cleared
still
out
there.
or are they paying attention?
If you're around, yeah, right. If you're there, there's like you see people walking around, but no one cares.
No one
And I
cares.
think maybe this is hard to do. I don't know. But like what Patrick was saying, I think just because we're doing something in the middle of the night does not mean that your action needs to be in the middle of the night. You can be
Yeah.
doing something during the day for your action. We just, for hours, it needed to take place at night.
Okay. I
So
was
don't
thinking we
think-
were like teaming up and making sure everyone was good to go. Okay.
You could like, especially there's a action called the help action in combat.
Mhm.
It's pretty much like if you don't know what your character's supposed to do, you can just like
Mhm.
give someone advantage by helping them.
Yeah.
I could say that's sort of what you could be doing now. Like if you don't have an idea of what you want to spend your day doing, you're like, I just want to make sure they don't get caught. Like that's a
Yeah.
good use of your day.
I mean, I would be
um,
continuing doing this anyway for the first couple of days, so it makes sense that I would line up with them and just make sure that because now I have the night. I did the day the first day, and now I know kind of what's going on at night and making sure they're not getting caught.
Perfect. L. And Patrick, your three hours go by, no one comes in. It's still too early.
All right, that's good enough for me. I'm gonna click my heels like Dorothy. That way, Andrew pulls me up. Get me.
There's no place like home.
This is Eris's signal to pull him out.
Oh, I just realized I could grab them both at the same time.
Grab both what?
The tokens, watch.
Oh,
Whee!
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's important. Okay.
All right.
So when did Gary leave the building?
Around 6 at night.
I'm so close with
Follow
business.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll say at that time. So I wasn't outside of the building during this time. I would just say like I was keeping eyes on Gary during that period at the oily rig to kind of see what his like end of day is like. So like if he
Sure.
went to the oily rig and just kind of like tailing him and his activities from
So
like
he gets to work at 8 a.m. and works till 6, right? It's a long shift, but he's gonna do it. At the oil rig, he always goes right after work. He gets like a small appetizer for dinner and a single drink. He's out of there within 45 minutes and then just walks back to his home.
is that nearby?
Yeah, it's probably within the same district. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that counts as my like action, right? So I assume that my turn
As long as you don't want to do anything else, you can.
Gary's about to end up.
Yeah, I would want to like follow that process entirely since I don't really sleep anyway. So yeah, I will from my like 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. of this like second day. That's what I'm doing, and then I guess I'll rejoin them if anyone else is kind of like in the area as of 8 a.m.
Okay, so in that case, day 2's done, right?
Yeah.
We weren't sitting here to get documents, correct?
Wait, why is day 2 done?
Because you guys all went through your actions.
We all did our
that's right.
actions.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah. So we weren't sent here to get documents, right?
No.
So floor 3 is maybe a bit useless to us. Now, maybe not. Like maybe that gives us leverage, or that leads us into a greater adventure. So maybe we like say, F the guy that sent us. No, I apologize. Sorry. Fuck the guy that sent us, and we instead collect a bunch of documents, and then like we chase that thread. That's a possibility.
So ignore the job.
I mean, we could.
Or
He's not
steal
paying
the
us-
shit and sell it.
Yeah, he's not paying us anything. But
Yeah, we could.
the other thing, but it sounds like if we want to like make out with a lot of stuff, not like, like get a bunch of stuff, then we need to go to floor 2. Because that seems like where the bulk of it is floor 2. And we still haven't seen any of floor 2, have we?
Not outside the blueprints.
So I think we're at a place where we need to spend the next day trying to get into floor 2. Maybe we just go and kill Gary. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. we spend the next day trying. The problem is Gary's a low guy. I mean, for all I know, Gary doesn't even have access to floor 2. I'm sure he does, but like, I don't know. I'm worried about it.
I didn't know much.
I was too focused on the button. I should have just followed the CEO.
But like, I'm
when he
wondering,
left the
like,
building that day.
do we
But-
skip it all, steal a bunch of shit from floor 3, and see where that takes us, or do we scope out floor 2 this next day?
What Tracy just said, which you guys would all know because you like debriefed, was that everyone at that desk has access to floor 2.
Yeah.
Right. It's a single button that just like opens the door.
What's important though, I wish we knew Gary's day off. Because if we knew Gary's day off, we kill him the night before his day off. We go in on his day off using his, because that's going to log somewhere. Like someone's going to know Gary came here on his day off, but that buys us an extra day.
Could we just like tie him up and put him somewhere and steal his badge and not kill him
Oh my gosh.
on his day off?
I can't believe we're having this discussion. I thought of all people that I thought you were like, let's burn him. I thought you would be like excited for this.
Wild card.
I don't like getting caught, so I tend to not kill things unless I absolutely need to.
You gotta get
Well,
rid of
that's not
him.
how this party goes. They just blow the heads off people.
I do.
They
know-
literally
standing
do.
far away.
They roll
I
like 20 damage on a guy who needs 3.
I do think we need. Oh yeah, I did some serious damage.
Yeah.
I took his head clean off.
I think it was 5 times what you needed.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was
Um,
just like
And it was like a baby.
And I still have
It was
no
like a
idea what
baby.
happened, so I'm
no, it just
interesting.
I don't think we would be reminiscing about this
Unnecessary.
though as a party.
No, I mean Raji
I,
was accusing you guys pretty hard.
I'm just
So I would ask.
to the party. I'm just throwing out. Are we really doing this for Raji, or are we just gonna go steal shit from floor 3? Don't have to entangle with people. I didn't see anybody for 3 hours, and like see what we get.
No, I think we need to.
I mean, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. We need to get the stuff first. I'm not interested. Not all that interested in laser protected.
Sleazel is saying to abandon the mission at hand and go rogue.
Right.
I think we do need to follow through with Raji, because I do think that's a relationship that I would be interested in maintaining, because I like to get off world as much as possible as a smuggler, and it seems like he's the kind of guy who can give us things that could get us off world more regularly. So I am keen to follow through with what we said we would do.
I'm just letting you know, I'm stealing something from floor 3.
Cool. Probably not without my help, because you can't touch the ground.
I don't see what's stopping us from like not telling Raji how much. Like, it's not like he knows how much is in there. We could definitely just give him a portion. My whole point is anything that we need to steal it first. And that's the like goal at hand, right? Is how we're gonna actually steal anything. Are we just taking floor 1? We're abandoning like 2? Are we gonna try to like storm this place and smack a button when no one's looking?
So that's a good question. Like, what? Okay, we're 2 days in. We have more time to case the joint, right? As the kids would say, case the joint. But the question is, are we thinking Gary is our way to some easy access? Maybe we get out before people realize what's happening, or like what? Because they were going to put my surgery like weeks away, so that's not helping us to get access. So what are we trying to do to get access to floor 2 and take as much as we can?
All right, I here's my 2 cents, and then I know what I'm going to do for my action. I think we should continue to try to gain access either through swiping his card, or maybe we follow through with what Elle was saying, and maybe either. I don't think it makes sense that I would be Elle's cousin, but Aslan could be theoretically, and maybe
she would never do it though.
It's too in the.
She would get caught. She's not even really allowed to be on the space station, so there's no way you'd get her to do it.
Okay, well, either way.
Have we been watching deliveries like while we've been doing this thing? Like, have we noticed like the regularity? When have deliveries been coming in?
All we know is that there is another delivery coming in on day 5.
Aslan should definitely have seen it, but though, he's been like living outside watching.
But no one else has come into that delivery room, because just because it's a certain kind of supply that's coming in 5 days doesn't mean it's the only one. So have we seen any deliveries coming in and out?
Through the couple of days, like you guys have been like staking this place, at least one of you has been staking for both days. You'll see like envelopes coming in, like mail, but there haven't been crates or anything like that of substance.
Okay.
Hang on. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's my action. I'm gonna go back to that place, the weapons place, and I'm going to try to interact and find a camera jammer. That's what I'm gonna go try to find on my 3rd day.
Okay, let me bring it up. So what he mostly sells,
I can't believe you just ran off and did this. And I was thinking like maybe floor 3. If nobody comes up to floor 3, maybe that's our best route of access to floor 2.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm not prepared to. I'm not prepared to go in there yet without potentially.
But I was saying you could have taken
jamming, without potentially jamming cameras.
Fair.
Like,
okay, that's fine. But it doesn't help the lasers.
Is there no like EMP? I'm trying to like look up our like, granted that would mess up a lot of stuff. But I'm just saying, I'm looking at the items list right now to see like what stuff there might be.
I can give you guys a link. Right.
There is an EMP.
Don't forget, we still have a thing that can cast.
There is an EMP.
So if there's like a physical key or something, we can cast it. It's not going to help us with like a key card, but any physical items we can cast. They have to just be smaller than like a hot dog or something.
So I gave you guys a link in Slack. There's just a human that works here. He looks a little bit battle torn, but like pretty normal. Maybe like what we'd expect like a coal miner to look like, right? Like roughed up, but fairly standard. For the most part, what they sell there's like a bunch of ranged weapons that consist of dart guns, flash pistols, a station pistol, that's the only semi-lethal thing he has. But it's mostly like things to tase, things to paralyze, of those sorts. He also sells defensive items like shields and the combat companion, and sells health stims, which are the D&D fantasy version of health potions. We could definitely, if you're like, I want a camera jammer and it's not on this list, we can do it, but it's going to be closer to that 500 to 100 credits. 50 to 100 credits.
That's fine.
50 to 100.
You stole people's money last session, right? Did you?
You
just,
guys you do have money.
We have like 300 bonus credits from last session, I think. So
that we stole.
Did we start with any credits?
Most people started with like 5 or 10.
We, I believe you mean me, because
clearly we're working together.
Yeah, we'll figure out, Ray, what you have. But for right now, you know for sure 5 to 10. The party does have a pool that they've earned both through stealing other people's money.
You hear that, Eris?
And
more like assholes.
Raji did pay you guys something. I just don't remember how much.
I'm just saying I have it already on my data pad. I don't need to come back and tell you guys, hey guys, I found this thing. It's all there. So
I would not expect you to wait and take our input.
You guys will get like a
money.
Venmo update, like money being taken out. You're like, oh.
Yep. So what's stopping us from like, granted, like the cameras were in like that lobby way, and then there were like guards there. Or was it just the 2 dudes, Gary and
there were 2 dudes?
Face?
There was 1 guard kind of working the floor, and we saw more guards come in at night.
I think I'm gonna buy 2 tasers. Are they single-use tasers?
No.
No, sweet. I'm gonna buy 2 tasers and a camera jammer, and I'm gonna try to haggle with him. Can I try to get it down to 50 for all of it?
So wait, it's 15. It's 2 tasers.
Yes.
And what?
And a camera jammer that we're making up right now.
So 50. Let's say that you're at like 100, and you're gonna ask for 50. Let's say he'll do 75.
That sounds fine to me.
Yeah, because you're Raji's bud.
Yeah. Yep. So I give him 75.
Yeah, and the camera jammer is like just a little box. And he tells you like it works. It's got about a 30-foot to 60-foot range. Some walls will stop it from working, so you might not be able to block it from like a room on the other side of a wall. But he just says like, hey, toss it in before you walk in. It's like that simple.
Okay. That's my turn. I go back to the party and I show them what I bought and I tell them my general idea of being able to jam the cameras. We now have 2 tasers on hand. We can knock out both guards we can take out both guys at the front desk, and then we'll have key cards and not on camera.
Okay.
And so we said that like there were less guards on during the day. And so is the general plan, like I could roll up on whichever day and bring like Eris, my cousin, and be like, I'm back to inquire about my cousin's like janitorial job. Are we just gonna like tase these dudes at like the like desk and hit a button? Are we trying to do this at night? Like what's our general plan?
We're still reconnaissing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't have quip.
I'm just getting things that I know we will likely need or will be potentially helpful in whatever our heist is going to be based on what we already know. I still think someone needs to get in there and get a look at floor 2.
I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna try to use some charisma.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back in. So I'm gonna walk straight through the front door again. That's the only move I got.
You're gonna wait for someone to walk in first, though, correct?
Oh yeah, and then be like, oh wait, hold on, one second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come in and be like, Gary, is Gary there?
Oh yeah, Gary has no life.
Gary, do you not have a day? Gary, do you not have a day off?
Move your guy.
Oh, he goes, no, we're on Saturday and Sunday.
You're here 7 days a week.
He said they're off Saturday and Sunday.
I have Saturday and Sunday. They're closed.
Oh, okay, Saturday and wait, what day is today? What is his day off in relation to where we are today?
I think we're doing the whole work week.
Okay.
So it's like Monday, and they're expecting the delivery on Friday.
Okay, that's fine.
So there's no Gary day off murdering.
Listen, I'm freaked out, man. I'm freaked out because
You're sure?
I want this surgery, but I'm just so is there any way that I can see where this is supposed to take place? I need to see it. I'm imagining this like crazy stuff, these terrible instruments, like drills and shit. Like it's got me so worked up. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Can I like roll for charisma to convince him to let me see floor 2?
Yeah, let's do a persuasion check or deception, whichever one's higher.
They're the same, motherfuckers. Okay.
Yeah, the only reason one would be higher is if you have a proficiency for it.
10. Yeah, I'm freaked out, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's like, you should be. It's really scary. And he goes, whatever the name I made up before. He goes, yeah, just like let's let him see. And
All
he
right.
opens it up. And he brings you up, and you come up to floor 1, and he's like, we're not going to go through. There's patients like being worked on, right? We can't just go busting in. But as you look into room 1, oops, that's not what I wanted. Where's 2? 2. So 1 is just a big open space, right? There's no chairs. It's just open. You can see into 3 and 4 because they have glass. Where is it? Oop. And you can see into 9. These are just rooms, and most of them, if not all, are filled with being used, right? This is a busier floor. I think you'd be surprised how much busier it is up here. The one thing you do see quickly is in 2-2. 2, it's like it's a metal cube half wall with glass top half. Inside of 2, there's a guard who has like eyes on the whole room, right? So it's a man sitting in a room with eyes on all the doors. And in there's also like the pharmacy.
Oh, is that like the head doctor? Who's that guy?
He's probably the
No,
pharmacist.
he just protects the drugs.
Oh, okay. I mean, it does look cleaner up here. Okay, this is helping. This has helped me, Gary. I'm just like, I want to do it. I want to do it, but I don't want to. Okay, this is fine.
Yep.
This is fine.
That's great. And he just like starts like nudging you down the stairs.
Okay,
Like, let's get out of here.
No, we're good. We're good. I'm fine. I'm leaving. Like I told you last time, I'm leaving.
See you later, little gnome friend.
Oh no! What happened?
You got your surgery.
You didn't need the surgery.
I'm a big boy.
I'm really regretting that we did not like send some fucking cousin in to get this like janitor job.
There's still time.
Still good. I mean, that's so. I've gone, and big bird dude is gone.
Wait, who's seen Eris? Nobody, right? Nobody's seen him yet.
No, but he can't be your cousin. I guess he could be your adopted cousin.
You're telling me that no one else uses cousin loosely?
I'm a damn bird.
Not when talking about jobs.
You don't know.
Yeah, but do you want to have a cousin?
Found family.
Does that mean I have to put on a disguise because I don't have a very good deception rating?
Totally up to you. What you guys want to do?
Cousin through marriage. So someone's in the chat. That's solid.
Yeah.
I
mean, theoretically, I'm back at this point. So, like, if you were wanting to talk with me, or were you just wanting me to be the cousin? Was that your?
I feel a bit stuck as to like how we're like our general assault tactics did not work last job, and this seems a lot more difficult than that one. So I'm just like, how are we going to get into this space without like roadblock after roadblock? And then janitor angle is the only one I could think of. So I'm trying to think aloud right now with you all as to like how to.
I don't know that that's the only one, because we have tasers and an ability to block cameras. So.
And we can kill Gary.
We don't have to kill Gary. We can knock him out with a taser.
But but my point is, if we take Gary's shit, like, we can access parts of the building.
That's my point too. You can tase him and take his shit.
But if we kill him, we get to keep his shit.
I don't need his medical card with me.
Proof of murder. Yeah. Because like we're supposed to move all this really heavy stuff, so it's not like we're gonna do like a smash and grab. This is not gonna be like
the only heavy thing would be the tanks, right? Everything else like
right.
are bags or boxes of medications. But yes, the tanks would need some. You probably need something to get it out, right? You're probably like, this haul type of thing.
Yeah.
Aslan's gonna go to the store and buy a paralysis dart.
Okay. Oh, so for the
Just
dart,
one or a set, or
so that is one dart, but you needed to buy a dart gun for it to work.
And that's
do
where they
I
get
need?
you.
So the way that I was going to use it, I wouldn't.
That's, you know what? I like it. So 5 credits. There you go.
I'll be really big on that.
Like
but
that
yeah.
ancient, like Chinese, like.
It's economical.
So
That's
what I
it
would say
is.
is like the big difference between like a lot of the darts and something like a taser, right? You would just be using the dart as a melee weapon without the gun.
So yeah, so basically, I want to see if I can combine this, because to me, like, it's really quick to go and slip and buy like one dart. So what I'm attempting to do here is when it's night and I'm seeing somebody leave, or they're just kind of going off on their own, because I've been tailing people, kind of looking around. I want to do the whole slip of the hand out of the side of my cloak into the side of a neck and just like let him drop and drag him off. Kind of where I'm trying to go with it. Because I want a card
Right. So who are you gonna do this to?
to somebody who seems kind of solo on their own, whether they come out together and like go
Oh,
off on their own home, or
You
like
get Gary
leaving
before
work.
me, I swear.
Save Gary. Make sure it's Gary.
She
'cause
like,
otherwise,
she's
he'll
like, I don't
die.
care who. I just care about like the one who goes to the bar alone and then goes home alone, like someone like that.
I mean,
It's
Gary
scary.
kind of seems like he's on
Yeah,
this
it's scary.
path. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. So I'm just saying, if you want to come back in 2 weeks, you probably should talk to somebody about that. But it's up to you guys. But you could definitely do that. I mean,
Okay.
You have my permission. I've been trying to kill Gary, so
I mean, I'd love to go with the storyline we have here. So, and since he spent some time alone, because I would have talked to Elle about it. She knows he went to the bar for a bit on his own, and she knows generally where his home was. So I feel like we would have kind of powwowed about it. And seeing as there's some like bloodlust for Gary, I'm fine taking him out, and kind of dragging him off and getting him tied up, locked up, just stealing that card so that he's not going to get in the way. Because I don't want to kill him if we don't have to. Unless you want to go back and like hit him like after the job's done. I really need to. But
Perhaps I carefully omitted not to tell Sleazel where Gary went, where his home is exactly, and only offered that information to certain people.
I could see us kind of powwowing on that, having that plan so that he doesn't end up dead so quickly.
And so then if that's the plan, to hit Gary at 6 p.m. on the dot with the paralysis dart, tie him up in his apartment, and then the plan is to gain access, like,
Then we have a card in to some extent.
and so then like we would hit it with like the night guards in theory.
Well, and the way I was kind of thinking is if we can break in even to the 3rd floor and we're trying to like get our way down, now we have a key card to open stuff from the inside, potentially. Or if you're doing, I don't know about the tasing thing, but we'd have more cards. So that
we need them for the night guards. The tasers come in handy for the night guards in theory. We're trying not to kill folks.
Am I back with them, or should I not be privy to this conversation?
I was assuming we aren't privy until they finish what they're doing.
Okay.
Because there's a very large chance here. Like, honestly, Aslan would probably just go and do this and get the card on her own. Even if I had spoken with Elle before to get the intel.
We just noticed Gary doesn't show up on his not days off all of a sudden. Oh no.
And to me, they're just going to be checking in with him and dealing with it. So it's like, cool, they can go do that. Because I mean, if on the 3rd day, basically, I'm buying it, then the 4th day that's happening, that prepares for the 5th day to get the stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
In theory.
So what's happening right now?
I think Ray or Aslan
Bought my
is
dart.
darting Gary in the neck.
Yes.
On day 3, is it
I'm
day
buying
4
the
now?
stuff on day 3.
It's
Yeah, buying the stuff
I
on
see,
day
I see.
3.
Yeah, I
Buying on
have
day
to
3.
buy it first, and so then my action on day 4 would be to do that.
I am
So
so
what I
grateful.
would say is,
So
whenever you guys,
grateful that that's what you did.
I would say, I mean, buying a dart is like going to a convenience store, right? Like in and out. If there's something else you want to do on top of that, you could.
Okay.
But I think waiting till the next day makes sense as well.
Because I would have just been stealthing around and just creating more intel in that time. That makes sense with what she's been doing. But the plan to hit is going to be on the 4th day, I think. That makes sense.
Elle, did we get a third day action from you?
No.
I don't think we did. I think Ray was sorting which action. I think we were trying to decide that. So is that like, are you buying the dart on day 3? Is Aslan buying the dart on day 3? And so I still have an action left.
Aslan is in possession of said dart.
Of said dart.
Or like a
Okay.
yeah.
Zero room for mistakes.
Yeah. I want to feel the life leave his body.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
the slip out of the, all the cloak layers, the in the neck and the drag off.
Yeah. I think I'm doing the like help action at this point because sort of seeming very needy and going in and inquiring a second time, a follow-up to my job inquiry. I don't really have much more. I think we can discern at this stage.
And this could go horribly wrong, so that's probably a safe bet to get ready for chaos.
So let's
saving us.
We have to pull this heist on day 5. Is that the deal, or that's what we're gearing
Stuff's
up
not
for?
there yet.
As close after, before or after day 5, like the shipment comes in, not before or after. The shipment comes in, so it's on day 5 or after.
Okay.
Is there anything
right?
So we have.
Is there anything stopping us from just like not even bothering with this building and just taking the shipment before it even hits the door?
Yeah. So only big thing is that the shipment is only some of it, right? Like there's other stuff.
Okay.
But you could definitely get whatever's on that shipment before it enters if you wanted.
Yeah. So we kind of had one more day before it comes in. I mean, not kind of. We literally do. So the question, I think we're back to that same question before of like, now what are we feeling as the approach? We know that on area 2, let me ask you this, where I saw the guard on area 2, that am I assuming, I don't know that I would know if it's bulletproof, but the point is, he's floor to ceiling encompassed inside this locked room in the center of floor 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that that's highly protected. So I can at least let y'all know that there's, kind of a radius of offices, this protected place in the center. There's one guard in there. I'm assuming that it's not just glass, that it's more protected than that. But we're back to what's our approach for actually getting this. I'm not against. I mean,
Killing Gary. We got it.
Gary aside, I'm not against just stealing what's on the truck and swiping some stuff from floor 1 and just leaving, right? Just how much are we wanting to risk by going to floor 2? Because if we can't kill someone, do we have a way of knocking people unconscious? Do we have a way, like, killing is so much easier because, like, then they aren't a threat to us. But if we have to keep them alive, then we're just. I feel like it's more likely one of us gets hurt.
Here's what I think we could do. I think if one of us prioritizes the downstairs, like the floor 1, or maybe even two of us prioritize the downstairs. We can take out the cameras. We have our tasers to knock people out, so we can get into whatever rooms we want to down there, right? And then the other 2 prioritize the shipment that's coming in and intercepting the shipment on its way in. And then we imagine that we know that like the low grade stuff is down in floor 1. That we know that's intel that we have, and we have a pretty good idea it's either in room 3 or room 4 based on your walk around. Then
where does the shipment go in?
It comes in on 2. It comes in the side
on the first floor, room 2.
It comes in
and
right
I think we need to prioritize that 2-pronged attack because I think we need to make sure that whatever like however they're delivering it, be it like a wheelbarrow or like a truck or whatever, we might want to make sure we get that so we can just shove everything in this truck as fast as possible or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wheelbarrow or whatever, and just take it all through that.
Take
so
the
I
truck
think
with it, you're saying.
So make sure we just like obliterate the delivery like system and hijack that, and then just try to funnel as much as we can into that like point of egress. And
on that
of
note,
moving
I was gonna
things.
say, wait long enough for them to get whatever doors that they're putting it in, so that like the two people could go through that way, use the key card, get the rest of the shit while the other two are dealing with getting the truck going, and then we just take the rest of the stuff, pop it in the truck, get the fuck out.
So
or whatever.
Two things. One, do we think that? No, this is not what y'all said. If we made enough commotion on like level 3 or something like that, that would cause the guard on level 2 to pull away from his post. Like, could we aggro him? And the second thing is, because I've seen the guard on level 2, the other option is I could just wait till I see the guard leave the building, and then I could leave Gary alone, and we could take out that guard, and then we know we have access to that medical area on level 2.
What was the guard wearing?
Pants.
What did the guards wear? Like, do they have helmets? Do they have face masks? Do they have any like? What is their outfit situation?
I would say way closer to like mall cop.
Okay.
I don't think maybe we've seen like they have like
his name was Barry. I remember his tag.
Barry.
What's it? What are the like a nightstick? What's the proper name for a nightstick?
Yeah, a billy club.
Baton.
Baton. That's the word I was looking for. They all had batons. Some of them had some sort of pistol. Could have been some sort of taser type thing. Not really like a lethal pistol, but you don't know. You couldn't really get close enough.
Okay.
The guy upstairs in 2 looked way more like a security guard. Like he didn't look like he was like being defensive at all. He was just in that room that was locked.
So what I'm saying is the other option is we leave Gary alone. We take out the guy from 2, and then we still do what we're talking about, but we do it when 2 should be starting his shift, because that gives us access to run up, pillage where he's at in 2, throw it on the truck, and take off.
Doesn't that mean there are more people? Because if the shift changed, they're literally changing shifts, so both parties are then in the immediate vicinity.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I can't say that my character is smarter than that. So that's kind of where I'm stuck at.
I'm not going to say that Elle thinks that no ideas are bad ideas, but I would prefer ideas to nothing. So
in that case, going into day 4, what makes the most sense for me to do? Do you want me to watch to see what 2 does, or the guard from 2, or like where are we at? Because we can't do anything with the truck till 5.
Yeah, you can't watch the guards at 2.
I can watch when they leave the building.
When they leave the building, okay. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you're sitting and watching, I'd prefer you just to watch that room with like a bottle, like over.
Oh
like,
yeah, go back up to 3.
Yeah, and just like check, and like if you're honestly just gonna sit and watch, I'd prefer you be in the duck to see exactly how that's working. If your plan,
we're already outside watching. Yeah.
But if that's what you want to do,
the only thing is to put him in that little hole, he still hangs out the other side, and there are people actively working in that room,
in the restaurant. Because it doesn't fit his whole body inside.
Yeah, it's not like he can just camp out in there. Like he hangs out.
What if you draped a wreath over my legs?
Anyway, okay.
I'm down to pass my 4th, or say that my day 4 is us planning this, and like all of what we just did. I'm okay to say that was all day 4, because we don't have anything additional in terms of recon that any of us are thinking to do. So let's just.
So
can we press fast forward?
We're gonna leave the medicine area in floor 2. We're just gonna say forget that. We don't need it.
I thought that we were doing 2 folks were kind of like in charge of like like entrance through delivery truck, and I thought another team was coming in through like the front exit entrance to do their like taser camera killing thing, and the team doing the delivery like heist was going to take floor 1 while like entering and taking care of security guards on floor 2 would do their best. Like,
oh, I mean, we could do that, but I was thinking that we would just make sure that floor 1 was total, because like the shipment is going to be the big stuff, right? The good stuff. And
is it? Do we know that? I didn't think we did.
I don't know that we know that.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think we knew
that was
that.
my understanding this whole time, was predicated on the fact that the good stuff is what's coming in the shipment.
We just know it's a shipment, but I don't think we, and it's a large enough shipment that it's larger than mail, like pieces of mail. That's all we know.
Like it could be, but I don't think we know exactly.
Well, I would say this. I think my point still stands. If we prioritize the big shipment of whatever the hell it is and the materials that we know are on floor 1, we prioritize that. If that goes well and there's no one chasing us or shooting at us, then we can get a concerted effort and 2 of us can move up the stairs with Gary's card.
Legitimate
You know what I mean?
question.
I wouldn't have told you I have Gary's card, by the way.
Legitimate question. Well, you don't have it yet because it's
have his card yet.
Off the dart.
If I get it, yeah.
What if? Because we haven't done this yet. What if we try to pull Gary into our team? We can kill him after. But I'm saying, like, what if, like, because if he has access, if he has access to the room, and someone can like roll like an 18. And, like, convince him, like, I'll sleep with the guy. I don't care. Whatever needs to happen. If we can pull him in, and he could do the heavy lifting on some of this.
And then I could wait to dart him until after if he says no.
Yeah, still just dart him. Like,
no.
Ray has the dart. She's going to use it.
I think at that point, we take him to an undisclosed location and say, here's the thing.
At that point, we have to kill him because then he'll know who we are.
Fine with that.
Sure.
No part of me is concerned about it.
That means that like Sleazel's gonna have to go up to him and try. It has to be Sleazel at that point if we're gonna try to get Gary over on the team. Because I like that he seems like he's got a very like poor like quality of life, and like maybe we say like we can throw him like some number of things, or like, does he need money? Does he have a sick sister?
He works 8 to 6. Like, it's a low level job. Hasn't been there that long. Yeah, like maybe we cut him in on some of it.
Yeah, it might be time to like spend maybe 4. Like we have this backup plan.
Losing him at the bar,
catching him at the bar to see like what his deal is, maybe. But my charisma is shit. So I don't think
I've got good charisma.
I mean, like
I'm not down for this plan. So like,
I mean, you can also get drunk and get intel, and then if you feel like he's bitching about it a lot, kind of then schmooze him into the situation, and I can wait outside to follow him home and dart him if it doesn't go well.
It doesn't go well.
It still works.
You don't think having an inside man is helpful?
Even to ask him questions.
Having a man inside me is helpful?
Do you think that's helpful?
I do think it's helpful, but this is day 4. Why didn't we do this on day 1?
I'm gonna be honest. I think Gary is getting darted regardless, and so I'm just trying to like. Frankly, I'm trying to save Gary. So I'm trying to work this in our favor.
To kill him at first.
I think it's an excellent bonus to the current plan. There's a thing saying, regardless of what happens with Gary, we can't proceed with the plan in hand, but it would be helpful if we consider this possible shit, because he could like 2-time us in theory, like, and that trust might be poor, but I think it's worth finding out the night beforehand anyway, because we can't be feeling him out 2 days in advance because he might throw up flags anyway. So I don't mind the idea, but again,
I will spend my action on day 4. I'm gonna approach Gary at the bar.
Okay.
But you don't have good charisma. Why are you doing this? You're just gonna tip his hand and then we're gonna
wait. Patrick should have the best charisma in the room.
I only have +2.
You're a bard.
+2 is the most you can have.
No, I mean it's not the most you can have because you should have
15 base.
You should, right? But you should have what's it called?
I have a +4 when it comes to
my
persuasion.
Performance is +4.
You should be proficient in one of these things that you need.
Oh, got you. I didn't do that part yet.
Don't worry. We'll do this after. But you should be definitely proficient, which will give you an extra 2.
I have I'm proficient in persuasion, which is 4. I get 4.
Right. So I mean that's very high.
Right.
So Eric
You're
should
just
be
being
doing
a
it.
yeah, but he's just being a dick and
When
deciding
I
not to
just
help
said
on
I
this
would
side.
do it. I just agreed to it, and then Patrick said, "No, I'm using my turn to go meet with him at the
Listen,
bar."
if you want to do it, do
Okay.
it. That's fine. That you do it. That's fine.
I was trying to, but you already met with him at the
'Cause
bar, so
I'm
how'd
only
it go?
+2. I'm only +2.
Hey,
Why
you
can't
can
you both
get on
go?
both sides of it.
Just both go.
We'll
He gives you
sidle him.
advantage then.
I don't think we
Get
should.
advantage because of it.
I think that's a risky move to put us both together. So it's either you or me. You choose.
I'm gonna go because they haven't seen me before.
That's right.
It's true.
I'm just gonna sit down next to him and say, "Hey, you did you just get off work? Was this like 6 o'clock, right? Roughly?"
Yeah.
Come here often.
Wait,
Hey, sup?
Patrick, did you just move all our faces?
They're all fine though, right?
I'm in a new
Yeah.
spot.
Where are you in a new spot?
I don't know. I moved on my screen.
On-
Oh no,
on
you're
your-
you're fine on the stream. Don't worry about it. You're fine on the stream. You're fine.
Cool.
I think it's funny that you were the one who told us not to mess with it, and then you went away.
I also went into. I used to do all the stream control when we recorded before Twitch, and I instantly went to how are the cameras.
Yep.
Yeah, Gary. So it'd be right after 6, right? Gary goes. He gets his like single appetizer and drink. So maybe you show up like right after he put out his order, and he's just waiting at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, just got off.
What do you do, Gary? If you don't mind me asking, I'm a little new to this part of the station, and you look like you could use someone to chat with.
Yeah, and he looks at you like real like peculiar, like I'm a desk clerk. How are you new to the fourth ring? What ended you up here?
I'm not new to the fourth ring. I've not been to this bar. That's what I'm saying. I'm new to this
Oh.
area, this part of the
yeah,
station.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just a desk clerk down the street.
Okay. Do you mind if I sit here and just chat? I've got nothing going on tonight, and
Yeah.
you seem like a cool
Yeah.
hang.
He goes, yeah, sure.
Cool. Can I buy you a beer?
He goes, no, just one each night.
Just one a night kind of guy. I respect that. And then I would just keep talking to him, keep
Yeah.
talking until eventually I say, "Hey, I've got a couple of friends, and we're actually trying to put something together, and you seem like a guy who might be able to help us out. What do you think about that?"
Yeah. First off, why don't you give a persuasion check? We'll do this now. But he's like, what do you mean put things together?
For all he knows, it's a sex tape.
Yeah. It's just like, how am I qualified? Like, what is
Just
this?
sidling up to this dude, buying him a drink.
I'm hoping, I said sometime later, so I'm hoping that we have been dialoguing, and by the things he said, I
The
would then
persuasion
say,
check.
"You sound like," I rolled a 16 plus my 4 is 20.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well, Um,
yeah. He's like, but yeah, I could definitely need the money. I could definitely get out of my job if I could get something. So I don't know what you have in mind, but
Well,
well, there's
Wait, what did you roll again?
I rolled a
16 plus 4.
Okay.
So I would say, well, there's actually this this little medical facility down the street, and we've just been hired to help get some of those medical supplies because there's a lot of people who really need them. It's not a job where we want anyone to get hurt. We don't want we want to just get in and out of there with the least amount of trouble as possible. We're really just there for the materials. And I don't know, maybe you know some people who work in the area that could help us out, or something like that.
Yeah, and he takes a drink and he's like, "Which medical facility?"
It's the Masterwork down the street with the Abernath. Is that how you pronounce it?
Abathor.
Abathor. It's that Abathor facility. It's a small facility over there. Again, we're not here to like.
He's like, "Are you following me?"
What do you mean?
That's where I work. Have you been?
No way.
Following me?
Absolutely not. This is only my first day in this part of the town. That's crazy. That's where you work, so you really could help us out.
He's like, yeah, I think I probably could.
Awesome. Well, what do you think? I mean, we're gonna be getting paid, and would love to cut you in on that. If you work there, then you can really help us, and no one no one even has to be any wiser to it, and no one has to get hurt. We can work this out really well.
What would I have to do?
Really, we just need access and just to get in and out.
And no one will get hurt.
Nobody needs to get hurt if you're helping us out.
Yeah, and then he slides like his bill to you, and he goes, and there'll be money involved.
There will be money involved.
He's like, all right, cover this dinner, and we'll talk the rest of this money.
Cool.
And the bill's only 10 credits. It's like small.
Cool. And I do that.
And then yeah, he's like, just tell me what the payoff's gonna be. Tell me the days I have to be there.
So meta question is, so 300 credits is being split 4 ways currently, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't need to know the price.
No, it's meta.
Oh,
I know. Yeah. Meta. This is the
We're
meta.
giving him product.
From
From the place he works.
What would be considered out of that cut? What would be considered a lot? If we offered him 20 credits, would that seem like a lot?
It'd be more than like it'd be more than like an hour's work, right? Like if it was a quick job, it could be, but he'd probably be looking for more.
yeah, you just bought a $10 dinner that he has every night. I don't think Tony's gonna do it.
Oh, that's true. I wasn't thinking about that. I was already thinking that question before I was paying his bill.
Yeah, sorry. Even for you guys, like the 300, like you guys said, like wasn't a lot for the 4 of you. For someone to like betray his job.
Here's what I'll say with him. Here's what I would say to him.
Yeah.
I will split my cut of the deal with you, 50-50.
He's like, all right, how much are you supposed to be getting?
That's a great question, but it's more than you would make in an evening, is what I would tell him.
And no one's get hurt.
No one will get hurt. And this is really to help people. It's to help people who don't have the means to
Yeah,
get
he's
medical
like,
help.
fine. When are we doing this?
Tomorrow night. Yeah, I believe there's a shipment coming in, and you could help us out by intercepting that and allowing us access and entry to get some
Yeah,
supplies.
and he's like, fine, but shipments come in the morning. It'll probably come right before we open.
Perfect. Then we're talking at the right time.
Soon.
Does Andrew's character have an earpiece in where I can talk to him directly?
No, if I did, I would have taken it out and thrown it in the trash.
Well, that's a disappointment.
While this is happening, Aslan has to be within earshot, kind of nursing a drink real slow in the corner. Is there any way she can get a read on Gary? Because I mean, she's basically watching him anyway in case she needs to like. So she wants to see how genuine this is, or if he's just looking to run
insight
in.
check.
Okay, which one is that?
It's the wisdom.
Are you wanting to have heard this, Sleazel? Is that your point?
My whole thing is like, if he has access to the cage on floor 2, if he can just grab 3 or 4 bottles for us and just hand it to us, like it's no work and extra for us to take back. So that was like, if he's already risking his whole like livelihood, can he just risk it a little bit more?
So I don't know if I have proficiency in any of this or if that counts, but I rolled a 13.
Plus 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say he doesn't look like he's uneasy, right? It's just like pretty natural.
It's a transaction.
Yeah.
He is concerned about no one getting hurt. Otherwise, he's down to help to help. So I would just I'd say, hey, when we're done, since we're done here, you mind coming with me? And then I would introduce him to the party so that he knows.
Oh God, no!
Why don't you give me another persuasion check to get this man to follow you outside into an alley at night?
I just rolled a 24.
Yeah.
Oh no,
He's
23,
gonna be
23.
so pissed when he sees us.
Yeah.
I put on my bandana.
This time like a bandit?
Get ready to darkness, dude.
Yeah, he goes, I don't know what it is about you, but like, let's go.
And so I go out there.
Finishes his drink and he puts it down.
I would go out there, and anybody who wants to be visible is there, and I introduce him, and he's already agreed to help. He's already agreed to help, and then Sleazel, you can ask whatever question you wanted to ask.
All right, Gary. This is a new guy you never met before who wears a bandana.
So maybe meta question: should I really not know who you are? If so, why?
I have a bandana on, you idiot.
I don't know.
know who I am.
I think you'd have to do a deception check.
Okay.
No, performance. Has to be a
Performance.
performance
I got
check.
fucking.
Yes,
Hold on.
because he's proficient in performance.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a
I
bard.
rolled a 21.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, hi."
Hey, Gary. Your name's Gary, right? Okay.
You look like a Gary.
He does have this sense about you.
Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking, what's likelihood you can swipe a couple bottles off floor 2 at the cage?
Whoa! I'm just opening doors for you. Like,
That's a door. It's a fucking door.
Yeah, I'll open the door for you, but I'm not going to go on cameras. I'm not going to interact with that guard upstairs.
There's no cameras.
What?
There won't be cameras. We took care of it.
He's like, yeah, I'll let you guys go up. I'll open the doors, but like, I can't be. There's gonna be people up there. They're just gonna want me to walk up there and start taking stuff without reason.
What if fake hostage situation?
And make it look good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh no.
Hey, as long as I can't get caught, I need this job, right? I don't know how much you guys are making, but I'm sure it's not retirement money.
I politely thank him for his time. Okay, so aside from Gary,
Does Gary exit scene at this point?
I don't tell him I'm exiting because I'd give my shit away.
No, am I leaving? Like, is Gary leaving?
I don't know.
You guys?
Was he reacting to Elle at all? Like,
Is Elle there?
Is L could have hidden when we walked out. I said if anyone wants to be seen, I introduce them. That was
Yeah.
Which
Like,
is
I
literally
didn't-
just Sleazel, right?
Just
Because at that
Sleazel for
point,
now.
because like I
Sleazel
could,
in disguise.
yeah, like I really doubt that Eslin wants to be seen in any capacity at all, unless it's absolutely necessary. And like, I wouldn't know actually that Eris told him we haven't followed him. So I would probably then just be like, "Oh, it's so good to see you again. I'm really glad you're aboard," or some nonsense. Like, no, I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, I just realized I wouldn't actually know. We wouldn't know. And
you would
how
just
did
be
you know
hanging
to
with
put on your-
Sleazel.
Yeah,
I
how
would
would you
assume.
know? Well, how would we know that he was coming out anyway? Would I be there? I'm like,
I would be the only one who would
He
know.
could have
'cause I'd be
called you
watching.
guys.
I'm
to
just
come
like,
meet the new
you're
team
thi-
member, or to tell us what happened.
I would think this is meta, right? A little bit, but I would think that if I'm walking out with this guy, side by side, and you see me introducing him to Sleazel and we're discussing, you would have at least an assumption that he's on board with what we're doing.
Mhm.
You don't have to give him a ton of new information. You
I'm
don't even
not,
have to
like-
meet him if you don't want to, but I would think you would at least know, okay, somehow Eris has convinced him to help.
Okay, yeah. At that point, I think like Elle is an elf of few words anyway, a bit laconic in general situations. So like
I'm sorry, did you say you're
If-
a bit necrotic in general situations?
laconic,
That makes more sense.
laconic. Yeah. So I guess I would need to know if Eris called us all to say I would need to know if I was actually there, like outside
You
the
get to
bar.
decide whether you're there or not. That's the like you would
Okay.
see me walking out with him side
Mhm.
by side,
Mhm.
and you could choose to
walk
disappear into
away?
the crowd or
Mhm.
walk around walk around the building or just crowd. Like you can choose whether you're going to walk up and engage us.
Yeah, I don't think I'm there
Okay. Then
because I think
then I
I'm
think we have-
trusting Aslan and
So it's-
Eris and whomever to do their job. So I'm not
it's-
there. So he hasn't seen me yet.
So far, it's just Sleazel with a bandana over his face that somehow just worked.
Very convincing. Very
Are you
convincing.
still agreeing to this?
Is
Okay.
Aslan coming out or showing? Like, is Aslan going to show up at all?
She's more watching from the back because I want to be able to stealth behind him and watch where he goes after. Like, I want to know if he's going and making a call and turning us in
Oh, sure. That
or
makes
going
sense.
back home.
Cool.
So,
Sure.
Then
So-
Andrew, it's up to you if you have anything else for him.
No, I would then just kind of offload the rest of the information of our what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and theoretically, this is happening tomorrow morning.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah.
it's in the morning, and we're gonna try to intercept the shipment beforehand. and then I guess we would have decided at this point whether or not there's going to be a fake hostage
Well, I
situation.
think we can have a final conversation. So I think we can let Aslan like finish out what she's doing. I think we can have one more conversation, and then that primes us for the actual heist.
So
Sure.
if it's in the morning, it's literally hours away, and I can't imagine that we would really want him leaving anyway. It'd be more like, all right, we're doing this in a few hours, like, let's go.
We would want information from Gary as to like what like
Where we should be going in, what we should be doing. Like,
No, it's
he's
only-
all of
in.
it.
It's only 7 at night. It's not like super late, right? Like he does his like 45-minute hour routine at that bar. It just goes home.
Right.
I don't think Gary's
We
gonna
would-
want to just like hang out with you guys for the night.
Yeah, for the
Like-
next like 10 hours or 11 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
How?
So-
What time in the morning are we talking?
like right at opening, like 8 a.m. Like
Oh,
the delivery guy
12.
will be
Okay.
there when we open.
I was
up.
thinking like 4 or 5 a.m. when
No.
shipments normally come in.
I think this thing needs to happen. I think this thing needs to happen all within the confines of that right here. If you guys
That
can
truck
see where my,
arriving.
if you guys can see my
Yeah, of course.
mouse, I think it all needs to
Mhm.
happen inside this room if it's during the day, because there's going to be people out in the street. So we
Okay.
can't make a big scene. So
Okay, so let's solidify this because this prepares us for the next session, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So
I'm on Gary like glue.
yeah,
I'm
so
not
yeah,
leaving
you're
that
watching
guy.
him until the morning.
do we
I'll
think,
babysit Gary.
which is great. Do we want to be bold enough that one of us treat it like it's a robbery? It wouldn't be all 4 of us. And when I say robbery, it's more of like, basically, does one of us want to capture Gary? I could be like a drug addict that's like, I'm gonna stop miming anything, but like I like need shit, right? And then I'm gonna like take him upstairs to like get me shit, right? So the question is, do we play that card or not? And if we don't, I still think we should try to get something off of 3 to go along with what's in 1.
I think you should back pocket that because I don't want you tased or like them to drug you to make you go to sleep and then like stick you in a room. Like that could go south really quick, but it could be a last like ditch grab him because things are going south and now we have a hostage. If you go in on that, then it's starting up here and you
Yeah.
could potentially be tackled and taken
So
down.
we're thinking just confine everything to 2. All we're doing is robbing the delivery. Potentially, if nobody's in there, rob room 3, maybe even rob room 4 because they're close. But that would be like if nobody's there, which there's not much on floor 1 anyway.
oh no, I think we have.
No,
to
we
get
take the
those-
whole floor.
I think
Yeah.
we get the entire floor.
We take the
Yeah.
whole floor at minimum because
just-
if Gary's on board, we have like a guard
it
and the
doesn't
other
mean-
dude on duty,
It
right?
doesn't mean that Sleazel Fazzle is on board. So like I don't know
But
that we can go into 1 and 5.
I think that we can assume that we're gonna take as much stuff from floor 1 as possible. We have tasers to knock people out, right? And
But like
there's not-
and
think
then
about this.
unused poison paralysis
The
dart.
people that work on floor 2 come through section 1 of floor 1. That's the part of me that says we need to not be in section 1 and potentially section 5 of floor 1. That way, if people are coming to their posts on floor 2, they just come in and go up and they don't see us. So
Yeah, but I
I
guess-
feel like we relegate it to 2, 3, and 4 on floor 1.
how
I'm on board with that.
But how conspicuous are you expecting to be? Like in my head, I would
We're
think
behind doors.
And he's letting us in. Like
Right,
he
he's-
could let us into the gate
Yeah.
that the delivery is coming
We
in
don't
from.
The
need to
delivery
go
door or
into
something.
reception. Like we
Yeah.
we don't need anything from reception. So I think we stick in that case to 2, 3, and 4. And
That's
if
the
we
back way.
if we're feeling bold, you also
Which we
shove
will.
me into a vent, and then
Yeah.
I try to steal some documents from.
I'm
3.
good with that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what we
base
do.
plan is 2, 3, and 4.
We tell
Possibly
them-
5 if we're feeling squirrely, and then
I mean, there's nothing in 5 but seating though, right? Once we get 2, 3, and
Yeah.
4, we want to go to
Okay.
the floor 2.
6 is old components.
Gotcha.
So like we could
I-
try to rob
okay.
6, but I feel like 2, 3, and 4 is what we want though.
Because
I
most
think,
of the shit's on floor 2.
in
and then
two-
whatever is in the delivery
Those crates. Yeah.
And so we're probably not going to have time to check all this. We're going to literally have to smash and grab and only know after the fact what we have.
Probably.
Unless it's like heavy air tanks, right? Unless it's really overtly obvious as to
So
like.
I think
Okay.
what we do is we ask him to let us in those doors early, and he shows up early to work that day, and he lets us in those doors, and we just sit in there and ready to ambush when the delivery guys come in. That's what we do.
I'm fine with it. And then
like
worst
collect
case,
the stuff, have it ready, and then ambush delivery, and then stick everything in. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you mean?
I just mean we're in the room ready to knock them out.
But that's a good point. We could pre-rob 2, 3, and 4. So it's literally
it's pronounced
just
probbing.
What about the night guards though? Because Gary's not supposed to be there, and there are night guards.
Night guards. I don't know where those guys go. People or girls.
Even if I were to use
shift is at 8, right? So changes shifts of the guards go in and out, and then like day crew comes in. So there's going to be a lot of people at open of business,
but not on the side of the building necessarily where the deliveries come.
Because everybody comes in through the street in section 1.
Right. But like there's no like preemptively cleaning it out.
Is
what I'm saying.
Right.
We're going to have to come in after or with everyone else. Like Sleazel could roll in the front and have Gary just take him to his like preparation, and then we get let in on the side. But like the delivery is going to be coming in simultaneously, and that's my.
And
sorry, go ahead.
I could take out the delivery people and have that ready, but my concern is that even the taser, like the poison dart, is only 1 round. So even if I take them out successfully, they're going to be coming too before we're done doing what we need to do.
Presumably we tie them up with the rope in our backpacks, in our Dungeoneer's pack, right? Like we have rope. We
have rope. Yeah, I'm not worried.
Gagged.
Once we ambush, because they're not going to be expecting anything, right? Once we ambush them, we can tie them up and gag them, and I'm not.
Take them in the back of the truck.
The good thing is,
take them with us.
I think 3 and 4 are quick to go through because they're examination rooms, so it's just cabinets and drawers. 2 would take the most time to go through, but I don't think it's going to necessarily take much more time to load what's in 2 into the truck as it would take to unload the truck into 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the truck will necessarily be there a lot more time. So as long as the other, because there were 2 people at the counter and 1, as long as we disable the cameras, and as long as the other person from section 1 does not come over to section 2, I think we can steal a truck and a bunch of shit without ever being seen.
So are you saying that we're not getting Gary's help to incapacitate the only other person working on that floor other than the guard? We're just going to try to leave that entire space untouched.
Yeah, because people are coming through the front door to go up to floor 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless one of us wants to be the new guard that just got hired and we do incapacitate him and one of us sits with Gary.
And puts the clothes on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which
So-and-so sick today. This is the cover.
Because the sleeves will come down to here, so it can't be me. It has to be one of you.
DM question. The item that I have, it says something about once it's moved, it doesn't work anymore. Does that mean I can't use it like on a person?
Yeah. I think that's exactly what it means.
That's what I figured. It would have been helpful, and then it wasn't.
I mean, you can if you
I have an idea.
Incapacitate somebody, right, and they can't move, like they're unconscious, and you spray it, sure, maybe for a bit until they convulse or something.
So if that would have allowed me to move, I would have done my own thing. Since it won't, I need to do this. So one of you who is small, I have a stealth coating I can spray on you. If you do not move and we put you on something, we could potentially get you up to 2 and plant you in there. Then you move and you appear. Is that something that could happen?
The better luck would be to put him into something
and then
spray it.
Right. Like a box or something. Exactly. And so basically we'd be planting you up there and trying to get you in the middle of 2.
But
so
if I was playing devil's advocate here, if he's already in the box, why spray it? Right, he's already in a box.
Oh, I guess you could just
open
the
box.
Well, what is he gonna do once on the second floor?
I'm trying to get him into 2 so that because I feel like he needs to get into hit buttons and do stuff and potentially start collecting things, or just I'm trying to get a like mole in there.
Oh, you mean in section 2 on floor 1?
Yeah,
I'm talking about floor 2.
Okay.
So like where the heavy shit is, because that's really what we need. I don't think.
But
we're
what
gonna
is he
find-
supposed to do? Like, let's say he gets in the box, goes undetected by this guard or whatever. What
He'll
is
play his
Sleazel doing?
guitar.
Tase the
I'm
guard from the
Sleazel.
inside, and then
Slick fingers.
because like if they the person in 2, for instance, they're going to see that someone's coming because they're sitting in a fishbowl basically. But if Gary comes up with this box of shipment stuff that needs to get put into, and he's hidden in there, and they stick him into, and then he starts unloading it, he can come out, especially if he's hidden, because then nobody will see him. They'll just see all the stuff around him, and he'll tase him, and then we've got an opening because the guy in the middle of 2 is now out.
But if we do
And
that,
the doors are open.
at that point, it's full on ambush, right? Like, or I should say,
Yeah.
like at that point,
Yeah.
it's front dooring. I love this. I want to be
And
very clear.
and everyone sees
But
who is
it's up on floor 2, so people downstairs and upstairs won't know yet. And we could essentially, that's when Gary's opening the doors. So we hightail, run it out. The other 2 people who are downstairs getting 3 and 4 done and incapacitating the delivery guys are ready. And y'all just come out like fucking running like a fire's behind you right into the delivery truck.
The only
Drive
issue
off.
with this, in my mind, is not the only issue. I think there are several issues.
What's the glaring one?
A major issue to me is how the hell do we get him in there first place? Second place, there are patients in those rooms
Yeah.
that will see him and
That's
see,
fine.
like they'll be able to. That's
They're
not
not gonna
fine.
do anything.
Wait,
They're
but
gonna-
why? Hold on. If we're gonna like straight up gunslinger this, why aren't we just having the business say like close today? Like if we're getting there at the start, the open of day, and Gary's already on payroll, why are we just not letting no one in and just dealing with people already inside?
Because the president is going to show up and be like, "Why the fuck's this sign out here?"
Yeah.
That's how he
The
talks.
door
Well,
locked.
we would have noticed when the CEO comes in. Does the CEO come in at 8 in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he just made that shit up off his head.
This
No,
entire
these
day,
are valuable
this entire
facts
game
that I
has
need.
I've got 3 pages of notes. None of you have touched any of them. Like everything else, I just. But yeah, the idea is like the workers, like the first shift would be from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Everybody. Then the second would be 6 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Gary would get him in though. That would be the idea. Is like Gary gets the boxes up or hands it off to whoever's gonna bring it up to 2. Like put it in the rhythm of like this is the stuff for 2. So that's how he would get in there.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a wise choice. I think if we're trying to stay as incognito as possible, because we're already on people's radar, even though
How would they know it's us though?
And how else are you getting into 2?
because they're gonna
Or 2.
they're gonna see him if he gets out of this box.
He's got a
But-
bandana on.
Bandana.
He's gonna come out, tase the main guy, and the rest aren't even gonna know what happens because it's literally like he's in a box and he's
There are no cameras
No.
and separate floors, so they're not going to piece together that it's our team. There might be the guy who came in the other day.
We
but
don't
How
know.
are they going
We don't know that there are no cameras on floor 2.
Oh yeah, on floor 2, I don't know, but that's the only place that there will be cameras, and none of us are going to be up there. Or are you guys planning
No,
on sending other
I'm
folks
saying
up there?
I think we go with our original plan. Aslan was proposing the idea of sending Sleazel up in a box to
Aslan's
pop
trying
out.
to kill me.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
And I think that's where the plan goes sideways. I think we're trying to do too much if we do that.
I
We are
like
still level.
Aslan's plan.
We're
but there's
level
not
1.
An exit strategy.
You are
Right.
And
level
how do
one.
we get to 2 otherwise? Like
We
what
are
was the
level
idea?
1.
How do we get
Well,
to 2?
They've already given up on 2. What everyone has generally been saying is we're going to clear out floor 1 like quick,
I
like
don't think there's
without
any-
people being the wiser is essentially the hope between the shipment and what's already in 2, 3, and 4, hoping that it's enough to complete this job without causing any
'Cause
kind of ripples.
down
They
to-
want to
Yeah.
like smooth it
Clear-
out. They don't want to
Yeah.
waste it.
I'm down
in
to
a
clear out
overt way.
1 undetected, and then that night come back and try to hit 3.
So yeah, okay. So I guess my concern is, at least
Yeah.
in my earthbound knowledge of going into a doctor's office, when you go into those little rooms, they have like a half bottle of peroxide and a couple swabs. And like, they don't have a bunch of shit in there. They have it up on 2.
You're
Think
right,
more-
but there's a
think-
shipment coming in.
Yeah,
So
think
we were
more ER
told-
as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we were told that like a bunch of like the more like the first column of intel is like more common, easy, and will in all likelihood be on floor 1. So we know that there is a legit percentage that we'll have access to. It's the higher value items that should be on 2, may or may not be in the shipment.
Gotcha.
And so we're gambling that the higher payout items we're going to hope it's in the delivery and kind of just like take the loss. Cause we also haven't decided whether or not we're paying Raj or not.
Well, I was going to say, we also, like if we give him all this stuff, there's no skin off of our back. If we give him everything undetected and he didn't get everything that he wanted, he's still giving us 300 credits.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
He guaranteed he's still paying us if we don't give him everything on the list.
I mean,
he said get as much as you can.
Get as much
that
as
was
you
what
can
he said.
is what he said.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And,
all right, in
and
that case, that's fine. I just thought we had to go to 2 for some reason.
Maybe
So.
we
And
should
he was
just kill
very
him.
clear too. He was very clear too that we do not hurt anybody, right? So he was like he was more
No, he said no bodies. He didn't say don't hurt anyone.
I like where
Right.
she's. I like where her.
But listen,
his
just
head's at.
saying.
But just listen. Just listen. He was more adamant about us not killing people than he was about how much stuff we brought out.
Okay.
I feel like that was his concern for us. I don't think that was the job is don't hurt people. I think he's just like, please just do this job and don't fuck it up.
Yeah, but
And
Well, that's the last one.
I will say, in fairness, because I love Aslan's plan. However, in fairness, I don't think he's paying us enough to risk Aslan's plan. And that
I agree.
part of me says, do floor 1, get out, be untouched. If he wanted more, he can pay us more.
Cool. I'll be on team the delivery people. I can take them out and then kind of babysit again. Apparently I'm a babysitter.
So we are
because
well
I want to be able
over.
to see. Yeah, I want to be able to see shit and know who's coming in.
We are over. We are like 35 minutes past our allotted game time. So Patrick, I don't know if you want to go back to our other screen or if you have already, but what we can do is we have 2 weeks, right? Maybe everyone just kind of lists out in Slack your proposed order of events, right? And then we can decide over the next 2 weeks what we want to do. And then next week we are starting 8 a.m. Well, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What, like Bermuda time? It's
8 a.m. 8 a.m. fourth ring time.
Lathander time.
And we're going to try to tackle this shop and then figure out where the rest of that day is going to go. Thank you guys so much for coming and playing. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. This is a little bit weirder, right? We didn't roll many dice, but I hope you guys had a blast. Ray, why don't you tell us where people can find you?
Ooh, Inked Flame on Instagram is probably your best bet, or Inked Flame across social media.
Cool. Andrew?
I'm at Andrew Sale with 3s instead of E's. You can find it right here on the screen if you're looking. Yeah, that's where you'll find me.
Tracy?
You can find me at Tracy Ching pretty much on any social media channel with that exact handle.
Right on. Patrick, are you going to toss it to anybody or just no social?
Just try it. Just try and find me.
Just try.
I did find one of your accounts the other day. I don't know how.
Sleazel Slick Fingers.
I think it was yours. And you can find me at Will Churn on social media. You can also find, I just released a zine today, so shameless plug. And you can find that at willchurn.com. It's in the shop. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you guys all had fun. This will be available on demand in 1 week.
Yes.
So if you missed part of it and you want to catch up, or if you missed past episodes, they're all going to be on YouTube at the M of One podcast channel. Or is it the M of One podcast?
Yeah, youtube.com.
YouTube.com/M of One podcast.
I almost had it. Thank you so much. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.